Oh man. That is so good. That whole game. This whole thing. Amazing. Whew. But now for something a little different. So give me a hot second here. Okay. All right. Let's get this going. All right. Not only do I have a new game for you, but here's the fruits of my labors this weekend. It's it's my shitty little VTuber model that I made all by myself. I just got a weird Capcom message. You need to install video codec WM video decoder to start the game. Oh, okay. Okay, that was weird. And then it started the game without like any fucks given. So that's cool. All right, so, oh wait, I need to, hold on. We gotta swap the ticker. Ace Attorney Chronicles. There we go, the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. And let me just do this. Ace Attorney Chronicles. Okay. So, here we are. Ready to do this. So, I'm gonna keep the VTuber model up over here in the corner. But, you know, if it's distracting, let me know. It's supposed to be at least a little bit distracting. Okay, music, yes. Subtitles, yes. Okay. They're all British, I believe, so we'll leave it as English for fun. And then, yeah, this is fine. Key config. Okay. Z is back, that's weird. Alright, let's go. Ooh, it's an anime. Sweet.
The Empire of Japan. After opening its doors, a push for cultural transformation brought great waves of Western influence to this far eastern island nation. The revolution washed over the land, making life in the capital exciting and unsettling. It was a period of great change, and some was swept away by the tide.
So sad. Da-da-dan. Oh no. Did someone just shoot someone?
But for one man, the turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary story.
Oh no. It's Naruhodo Ryunosuke or whatever his name is, but 100 years ago. Man, this game has style. It's good. 22nd of November, 8:43 a.m. The Supreme Court of Judicature, Defendant's Antechamber 5. I still can't believe it. Still can't believe this is happening. Oh, hi, Devkind. How can it be that just beyond the doors to this quiet little chamber is the highest court in Japan, waiting to decide my fate? How indeed. Oh god, it's faceless NPC 1. What? Oh, nothing. Save your players, murderer. You get a piece of fresh pizza? Yeah. That's you got one right here. This thing is so fresh. I made it this weekend. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. That's a pun. Second year student at the Imperial Yume University. 3 days ago, I somehow found myself in the middle of a horrifying accident. And now, here I am, awaiting my trial. Wait, so are we not the attorney? Oh, who's this? What? He's not obliged to listen to such abuse, officer. Yes. Who are you? I'm this man's lawyer. I'll be defending him today. Lawyer? Yes, and until the judge has given his verdict on the case, no one has the right to treat him as a criminal. So you will hold your tongue. Technicalities. Look at you, you haven't even graduated yet. Why is there a black bar on the screen? You know what? Why is there a black bar on the screen? There we go. How's that? Sorry about that. I don't know why that was there. It looks like it was a remnant of the capture device. Okay. And yet I still seem to know better than you how a court officer should behave. Right, Yunosuke? Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. Wait. I'm a little bit confused, I'm not gonna lie. I thought there was... Okay, it is on. There are voices. The trailer made me almost think that everything had voice acting in it. What are you apologizing to me for? Oh, no, I suppose that wasn't my fault. But really, Cosmo, I never meant to drag you into this. I'm sorry. There you go again, apologizing. Just like always. Yeah. This is like a good upgrade though. Like, think about the Ace Attorney games I was playing before. Like, we've got animation during this. They blink. Actually, they always blinked. But like he like moves his posture around everything. He's like a full 3D thing. It's pretty good. Though I must say, you've been all over the newspapers these past few days. Yuma University professor murdered in cold blood by student. But obviously, you didn't act naturally. You actually didn't do it, did you? Of course not. You have to believe me, I didn't do it. I could never murder someone. Just maim them. There's nothing to worry about. Straighten yourself up. Hold your head high. I mean, I believe you. I know you're innocent, Yunosuke. Kazuma Asogi. My best friend, also in his second year at Yuma University, but he's far more clever than I. A star student, in fact. Literally has stars on his jacket. He's an unqualified lawyer. It's not that impressive. The very concept of lawyers is only a few years old, here in Japan anyway. My qualifications don't mean much, yet. He said exactly the same thing 3 days ago. But I'm proud to have a friend like you, Kazuma. Truly. 3 days ago. Yes, that's when all this started. Oh, okay, now we're at a 3D model world. Congratulations, Kazuma! Looks like you're going to get the study abroad at last. I know, I've been forever dreaming of this day. Finally, those government elites have acknowledged my academic achievements and successes in court. So you'll be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world. Really happy for you. Proud as your friend. Dude, I mean, I imagine that it's gonna swap back, right? It's gonna swap back. There's not a soul in the university who doesn't know Cosmo's name. He's a living legend. There's some mysterious aura billowing around his temple. I want to bring about change in our own legal system. That's why I had to cross the ocean to see the real thing with my own eyes. The heart of the British Empire. Wish I could see it too. And come with me. We'd have a wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's City of London together. If only it were that simple. Oh dear, look at the time. I better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a while longer. Good idea. After all, every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. Aren't they just in like a hotel lobby or something? See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. I need them to give me the voices for these people. Like the voice acting bit. It was straight after that. That's when it happened. Oh, here we go. The budget's back. Asogi may have a word. Oh, we got a cutie and a samurai. Professor, I didn't know you were coming. Well, This case has personal significance to me. But never mind that for now. Asogi, you should go immediately to the judge's chambers. To His Excellency's chambers? Why? He was looking for you before. You advocating for the defense in this trial was a sudden decision. Seems there may be some confusion about procedures today as a result. Who is this man? I mean, you know. This professor is amazing. Look at his hair. I feel as though I've seen him at university before. I see. I'll go at once then. Also, is it just me or is this translation a little bit like googly? I shall accompany you. Alright then, Ryunosuke. I'll see you in the courtroom. Yo, but who's this cutie on the kimono? Yes, thanks, Cosmo. Come back, samurai girl! Oh, right, you're probably her dad. I probably shouldn't say that next to you. Ugh, this is awkward. Oh wait, no, he's smiling! If I may. Yes, sorry. You must be the defendant. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe. Yes, that's right. My name is Eugene Mikotoba. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yume University. Ah, Professor Mikotoba. Heard that name from Cosmo before. As I recall, he's been pushing to get the government to agree to Cosmo studying abroad. Asogi has told me about you. You and he are best friends, I understand. As such, I feel like you should know. Know what? Well, as you no doubt heard, Asogi has been granted permission to go and study in Great Britain. However, if he should fail to defend you in today's trial, I'm afraid that that permission will be revoked and never granted again. What? That seems a little heavy-handed. As I suspect you were unaware of this. I had a feeling Asogi may have chosen not to tell you. He'll agree to defend me? Knowing that if he fails, his dreams will be shattered? But I don't understand. Why would the government do such a thing? The administration is to choose from a large number of applicants for overseas study. It's very difficult to persuade them to grant permission, even in the most favorable of circumstances. Oh, I don't believe it. But I didn't do it, I swear. I'm not a murderer. I'm sure that's true. Nevertheless, I can assure you that proving your innocence will be no easy task. You see, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial. Peculiarities? Sorry, what do you mean? You'll soon understand once proceedings get underway. But then what should I do? Well, naturally, I'm not going to suggest doing anything that could lead to a conviction. Right, so as soon as the trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense. When that happens, you must answer before anyone else. You must say, I do. I do? But what will the question be? Surely not. Do you accept the accusations brought before you? Of course not. Defendant! Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. It would seem our surreptitious discussions are to be cut short. So allow me to summarize. Cosmo Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Of course, as the defendant, the final decision is yours. What are you waiting for? You want to be found guilty for failing to appear? Get moving. Stop pointing at anyone advocating for the likes of you anyway. Man, Imperial Japan is fucking rough, huh? If this trial goes badly, Cosmo's dreams of studying abroad are over. What's more, we found guilty of murder. And so, with absolutely no idea of what lay ahead, I embarked on that unforgettable trial. My one and only chance of proving my innocence. Here we go. We're gonna choose our destiny. Man, they were heavy on the lettering. So this is a courtroom. Wow, Wow, we actually got like a full courtroom. The Supreme Court of Judicature. No court in the land has more power. Not much like the looks of those people sitting in the public gallery. Lots of military and other uniforms in there. The powers that be have demanded this be a secret trial. A secret trial? A trial that's closed to ordinary members of the public. Only military and government officials may attend. What? But why? It'll become clear in time. But for now, you need to concentrate, Ryunosuke. It's about to begin. Okay, what does the judge look like? Oh my god, it's... Oh, wait. Okay, sorry. I thought Pain was the judge for a second. The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Ouchie. Excuse me, I need to drink something. My god, I just went idle there for a second. Sorry, I can see like the VTuber like model out of the corner of my eye like freaking out. Good stuff. The prosecution is ready, Your Excellency! As is the defense. Before we begin, there's one point of order I would like to confirm. Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for a change of advocate. That's correct, Your Excellency. I made the request myself. Normal procedures for the defendant's advocacy to be decided 2 days prior to the trial. As this is an unusual circumstance, I am obliged to ask for final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial? This is it. This must be the question. Who's going to defend me? That's the question the professor meant. But then, if I say I do... I need to answer quickly. What should I do? Your Excellency, no confirmation is needed. As I'm standing here beside the defendant, I hope it's clear who will advocate for his defense. What is the meaning of this unruly outburst? Right. I would like to inform the court that I, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, will be defending myself. You'll be... What? What are you playing at, Ryunosuke? Professor Mikotoba told me everything, just now before the trial. He did what? He said that your dreams of studying abroad would be dashed if you were to lose. How sad. It means you don't have faith in me. You think I won't be able to get you off. Hey. No, it's not that, really. It's just that, well, on the off chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear to be the reason that you... Yes, I knew that's how you feel, which is exactly why I decided not to tell you. Professor Mikotoba should have stuck his nose in. Very well. The court hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial.
Well. Does the accused admit defeat already? Renounce his own counsel, really?
Objection!
Make no mistake, counsel. This merely shows that the defendant's innocence is so apparent, he's confident he can speak for himself. Isn't that so, Naruhodo-san? Oh, yes, exactly. Exactly what I wasn't thinking. Not confident at all. In fact, my mind's a complete blank. Man, you can tell this dude is Phoenix's ancestor. I realize you're in charge now, but still, try not to look so bewildered.
Huh. Well, for a mere university soon to be brought before the Supreme Court. He must have perpetrated a most heinous crime indeed.
As you are no doubt aware, this is the Supreme Court of Judicature of Japan. Accordingly, the very highest standards of conduct are expected of all present. Do I make myself clear, Defendant Naruhodo?
Yes, Your Excellency.
It is therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task you have undertaken.
My competence? What does that mean?
He's questioning your ability to do the job. Well, he can't be questioning it more than I am. So, let's start with the very simplest of questions.
Yes.
Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. Well, that's easy enough. Or his name more times than I care to remember. But, wait.
I'm so nervous I can't remember that. What was this again?
Yunosuke. Let me guess. Your mind's gone blank?
You
know me so well. All the relevant information for this case can be found in the court record.
But I can't even find that.
It's simple. You can access the court record with the press of the right bumper. If you ever find you've forgotten something, just consult that. It's all in there. You know what'd be really fun to do? Go around to places and like talk to random strangers like at bars and then tell them shit like that. Like be at a bar or something and do something really impressive and someone will be like, oh man, how did you do that? And be like, oh, I just pressed A and B twice. And just have a complete like stonewall face. Completely serious about it. I just have to press right bumper for the court record? Alright, there's no time to lose. I'm using controller, by the way, in case that wasn't obvious. This is the list of evidence you've collected. Now try switching to people instead of the RB. You'll find details about the victim in here. When you're done, just press B to go back. John H. Wilson. John H. Wilson. He like sounds suspiciously like Watson. Okay, thanks. Now you better not keep His Excellency waiting any longer. Go on. Find the victim in the people section of the court record, then press Y to present. Try it now.
Yes!
The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson.
Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university.
Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor from England, invited to Yuma University 3 years ago. Indeed, which is the reason why this case has such profound implications. The British Empire is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally, and as most of you will be aware, we have just signed a new treaty together after lengthy negotiations. There can't be anyone who hasn't heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation.
And yet, despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of an Englishman has been spilt on our soil. You two are both undergraduates of the Imperial Yuma University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides your education. Have you no honor?
I didn't do it. This case is coming under great scrutiny from our allies on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes for a speedy resolution to this matter. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. And you're a convenient and expendable scapegoat to blame for this crime. So that's why this trial has these unusual peculiarities. Exactly. Our government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman. Yeah, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. But nationalities and treaties won't make any difference for me here. The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. Oh dear, look at the time. I'd better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. The British Empire. Wow, it's incredible to think. Wow, I just took a drink of water and that model does something real cool there. Wait. I've seen that man at university. Sure, he's a visiting professor from Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still. I should go and say hello. So I went over to the professor's table. Oh, he's still alive at this point. And introduced myself to Dr. Wilson. Now then, let me pose my next question to you, Defendant Naruhodo.
Yes, Your Excellency.
How did this professor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life? Death occurred after 2, caused by loss of blood from a gunshot to the chest. The bullet did not pass through the victim's body. State before the court the cause of death. The cause of death. Well, obviously that was, Yunosuke. Remember that in court, every assertion must be backed up by evidence. By evidence? But how? Find the piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death and select present. Do it now.
Yes.
Well, according to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to the gunshot trauma.
Learn to read, you imbecile. That's the post-mortem report, I take it?
Sorry, yes, that's right. The post-mortem report. In the West, a doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way. Oh, I see. I'm not going to be testing on any of this later.
This is a so-called photographic print of the scene of the crime.
You can clearly discern scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by the powder explosion. In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range. Thank you, counsel. The court will accept this modern scientific evidence into the record. Alright. So that's a photographic print. Huh, that's something I've never seen before. Clearly superior to a drawing. The detail is incredible. Very well. I'm satisfied with your answers. Let us start the trial.
Certainly, Your Excellency. So, without further ado, in order to better appraise the court with the facts of the case, the prosecution hereby calls its first witness, who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened.
Ugh, this is it then. I think I may have worked out what the professor had in mind. The professor? You mean Dr. Mikutoba? Yes. Clearly you're the defense lawyer today, not me. But that doesn't mean... Huh. I can still act as your assistant. Of course. When he was speaking with me before, he simply said, Cosmo, so you must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. He really has been sticking his oar in, hasn't he? Maybe, but any help you can give me would be greatly appreciated, Kazuma. Well, my first piece of advice is rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats. All of you rein in that crazy headband and control the cold stares first. Hello, butler man with nice hair.
Witness, say your name and occupation for the court, please.
Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I am the head waiter at a Western-style restaurant called Le Carnival. Oh god, he's bleeding. Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some, It's a regular occurrence. It really doesn't bother me. It really should.
As everyone knows, the capital's southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. A very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests.
This grim crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants, an Occidental eatery, 3 days ago. Understood. Hosonaga-san, you will kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident. Kashikomarimashita, sir. At once, sir.
And no petty interjections from the aspiring lawyer boy, please.
Perspiring maybe, but aspiring? It was just after 2 p.m. on the day in question. We have few diners at that time of day. The lunchtime rush was over, and there were only 3 tables still occupied. That fits in with my memory of it, too. There's hardly anyone else in the place. It was when I was in the kitchen putting away crockery and cutlery. What kind of brownies did you eat, King? A gunshot rang out, so I hurried out to the dining area to see what had happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman slumped in his chair, and standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accused university student. Lori likes Za-chan? She's pizza. Hold on, let me just clarify something here. Well, I did pick up a gun that I found lying on the floor besides the professor. I didn't shoot him.
Objection!
I believe I asked you to refrain from petty interjections. The court wishes to listen to the witness's report of what he saw, you amateur.
But the next time you interrupt at an inappropriate time, you will be penalized, defendant Naruhodo. Don't worry, Ryunosuke. You have your chance to fight back. For now, we must just quietly listen to the witness. Right? Isn't it cool? Also, like, this dude right here, I'm just thinking about, like, if you cosplayed as him, like, you get a headband and get, like, a little motor and put, like, wire into them, and so they would just, like, constantly be moving around. That would be so fun.
If I may confirm one point, waiter. Standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand was the same man we see in court today.
Man, he's even got the sound of his cough. Yes, without question. Also, holy wall of text, King. 1 second. Let me read this novella you put into the chat here. Mom decided to buy cinnamon toast crunch cookie mix and cinnamon dust icing. Snickerdoodles, good. Also made fudgy brownies. Ah, okay. So you put cinnamon toast crunch dust on top of brownies. That sounds pretty good. That sounds pretty good.
I see. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing besides the victim?
No. There was no one else around that table but the deceased Englishman and the university student. Huh? Wait, what did he just say? There was no one else around that table. What's the matter, Ryunosuke? That's just not right. When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello, there was a woman sitting opposite him at his table. Really? And that's not something the waiter could have missed. Been warned about interjecting. But still, what should I do? We wait, right? Because we gotta wait for our cross-examination period? Also, how does, let's save. Also, can we just, like, appreciate the menus for a minute? Like, how nice they look? Because they look really nice. Like, the regular Ace Attorney games are great, don't get me wrong. But, like, they definitely reek of, like, pie game feelings to some extent. And, like, normal visual novel, like, really standard stuff. But, like, these are really nice looking. We always interject. Alright.
Yes.
He's gonna penalize us, though. Just a moment. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table.
Objection!
Dear me. What are we going to do with you? With your blatant disregard for court proceedings, I begin to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be that the accused, this mere student, is not a real lawyer after all?
But I'm sure of what I saw. Hosonaga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is hazy. No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. I I don't believe it. I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please have a look if you like. Let me see. Ah, a sketch of the establishment's layout drawn by yourself, I presume? That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. Oh, I bet you that this business card is not going to be his business card. It's going to totally be like the woman's or something. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. Well, you're clearly a very conscientious waiter. Thank you, sir. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well. Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. What was that about? He wasn't completely calm and collected until now. Something certainly seems to have shaken him. Alright, there we go. We got the waiter's business card. So, the court has now heard a precise of the case. Precise? Yes, at the moment the gunshot was heard in the restaurant. The only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. It would seem we are looking at a black and white case here. Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully upon you. In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. I called this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. An unsworn witness? An unsworn witness? Excuse you. But I must warn the defense if you're determined to pursue matters further in this trial. The prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of the crime. What do you think I should do, Kazuma? What do you mean? Well, we found guilty one way or another, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? Everyone keeps saying this trial is unusual about these peculiarities. You said it. Professor Mikuta said it, and so is the judge and the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing now to throw that trust back in my face? Is that it? What? If the accused is in fact innocent, then a defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. Are you just going to abandon that duty? Are you going to give up on yourself? Believe in the me that believes in you. The battle hasn't even begun yet, Ryunosuke. Your drill will reach the heavens. The defense pleads not guilty, Your Honor. Excellency, sorry. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. Then we'll see just how decisive this evidence really is. Something seems off. Well, you know, when you make a VTuber model yourself, and you're not very good at drawing, and you use GIMP for the third time in the last, like, 4 years, I think it came out pretty good. Prosecutor Ouchie, please continue with proceedings. Oh, they need to be wider? Okay, wait, we can do something about that, maybe. Well, you are warned. The young can be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint, but I could be a devil when I want to be. Ugh. In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever. The prosecution calls this next witness. Very well, officer. Bring forth the witnesses at once. Also, like, you can't really see it, I don't think. Maybe, hold on. Can you see it? It's a bit dark, and now it's getting, like, super choppy. But, like, the hair clip. Wow, that's a cool face that I'm making. The hair clip it's there's a Z and an A on it because it's like pizza, you know, get it? That's why she's Za-chan. Because I figured that if I was gonna make a VTuber model, that you know, it should be pizza themed, which is why my hair is like cheese and pepperoni, or cheese and sauce, basically.
Wait, this is kindly state your names and occupations for the court.
Yes, sir. The Great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Iesa Nosa reporting for duty, sir.
Za-chan R34. There could be no greater compliment.
Myself, I find employ as a purveyor of of fine articles of antiquity from the efflorescence of our nation, Nippon, and conduct my trade from Rasute, on humble premises in the 2nd District. Kyorya Korikota at your service.
An antique dealer and a soldier. What an unusual pairing.
Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question.
They must be the diners at the other table that the waiter mentioned.
Myself, I habitually take tea of the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question, always post noon.
Dude, I love this guy. Seeing these people animated is phenomenal. Look at this.
And not infrequently converse with interesting parties regarding the curios with which I make my business.
I can't understand a word that old man is saying. He's an antique dealer. It sounds like he's a regular at La Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares to them. He obviously targets La Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with rich clientele. Right. I see. Although, to be honest, that sergeant looks more like he'd be a seller rather than a buyer.
Now you both witnessed the precise moment of this most atrocious incident. Is that correct?
Affirmative. The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war. Now get me pictures of Spider-Man! It was that black uniformed rogue infantryman over there who was unloaded his firearms, sir.
This man's as impossible to understand as the other. But I'm almost sure I heard a strange noise during the last thing he said. So this is the decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. Dude, do you think Korikuta can fly? That'd be cool. Imagine seeing someone fly with their earlobes. It'd be like watching Dumbo come to life. The soldier is claiming that he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead. Yes. Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start. Now, the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Stand by, ready to report, sir. I'm savoring memories of a most acerbic afternoon. Look at the jiggle physics on his ear. Look at that. What the witnesses saw. That's good. All right, let's save. I was ingesting a regulation beef steak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. Wait. He had a different pot a second ago, didn't he?
At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel.
Well, I got evidence that contradicts that bullshit. I was on my hands and knees, investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio.
Well, so you, Sergeant Nosa, actually witnessed the vital moment. You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim? Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. That wicked university cadet, sir. The cruel and unforgivable enemy. What times we live in when an English gentleman may be assailed in the broad light of day. Why do you have a knife at court? But this is ridiculous. I didn't shoot anyone. Is that really true, Yonosuke? Yes! All I did was pick up the gun that I saw lying on the floor. After I said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat drinking some coffee. And when I'd finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant when I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it. So I bent down, and just as I was picking it up, bang! Well, if that's the truth, there's obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere. And somewhere in these two witnesses' testimonies, there's a clue as to who that criminal was. There is. Yeah, it was the part where you said you shot him from the back. Yonosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witness. Cross-examine? Do it now. Touch the cow.
As we have heard, Your Excellency, there's no room for doubt in the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. It is time to bring this despicable student to justice.
Certainly. The testimony the court has just heard eliminates any vestiges of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of this trial. What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst?
I mean, the defense demands its right to cross-examination. Dear me. Let me guess. The Hachimaki headband boy next door told me to do it. Oh, how pathetic.
Huh? How did he know?
The prosecution objects. This is a clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How can he possibly carry out a cross-examination?
Objection!
The defense is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Whether or not you think he's capable of it is irrelevant. Cosmo's so commanding. Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witnesses. Alright, this is where the battle really begins, Ryunosuke. But I don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination. Isn't it obvious? You have to expose the lies in the witnesses' statements. How? You didn't fire the gun, which means what that soldier said has to be a lie. Well, yes, but it's just a case of proving it. And the key to doing that is evidence. Should we call him... Should I give Cosmo's voice? Or my best, worst impression of it? Right, evidence. All you need to do is present some decisive and indisputable evidence that proves the witness is lying. Now let's go, Ryunosuke. Don't let them beat you. I like that I didn't make the... Oh, that was great. Sorry, that was really funny. Like, Cosmo slams his hands down and makes the noise, and he does this just like this little slap. Alright, then it's all or nothing. What the witness saw. Alright, so let's save. Also, I like this, again, this game. Like, I can already tell. See in the top corner, up there? Like, we have strikes. There's clearly like 5 strikes and you're out. There's not like a health bar. I like it.
Yes!
Alright, let's press. Why? Why aren't you saying anything? Is this some new interrogation technique?
I hadn't actually thought of what I wanted to ask.
Just ask about anything that catches your attention.
Anything that bothers you. Alright then. This beef steak you mentioned. What kind of food is that?
Teen Shun. Beef steak is a delicious cut of veal, vigorously cooked on a cast iron grill and served piping hot.
Oh.
If food could receive medals of honor, beef steak would be almost as highly decorated as a cutlet.
Right. I see. Thank you, sir. So, next question. This cutlet you mentioned, what kind of food is that?
Teen Shun. Cutlet is a delicious cut of veal tossed in breadcrumbs and deep fried in cooking oil. Accept your guilty verdict, atone for your crimes when you're released from the prison. Try it.
Yes, sir, I will, sir. On the double, sir. Sorry to interrupt, but how about trying to stick to questions that are relevant to the case? Sorry. I'll try my best. See, if I was writing the script for tension there, I would have done 2 N's, not 2 E's. Just to make it like extra obvious that you're not saying teen. Is it just me, or do you keep hearing a sort of wah crying?
Negative.
Okay, so that isn't just a weird thing? Well, at least we'd learn that he's a big beef lover. Affirmative. It's not easy knowing what questions to ask. Achievement unlocked, Prime Presser. Myself, I was extolling the virtue of particularly fine golden curio to the Benjamin.
Yes!
You want to tell me about that? I have no idea what you're talking about. Koban boy. A Koban? You mean an old Edo coin? The day prior to the incident, a treasure of exceptional value from the Hoi period into my possession. Yeah, no, I get it, King. I'm just saying that I would have written it with an N. Because I'm used to it being like 10, like the N gets drawn out. I don't know. I'm not in the military. I don't know these things. I've never been yelled at by a drill instructor in my life. I took myself to the restaurant the following day with said items secreted in my bosom pocket, in the hopes of an affluent cognizant appraise of its indisputable value being present. So, you were hoping to sell your Koban coin to Sergeant Nosa, who you met at the restaurant? Yes, it's quite clear where you're going with this, boy. You were about to assert that a penniless soldier would have no hope of purchasing a precious Koban. Isn't that so? Well...
You little upstart cadet! You want to add disrespect to your superior officer to your list of crimes? Do you? Blatant subordination.
No, I didn't say anything. Well, penniless might be just the word I was looking for. In any case, the hour was already advanced beyond that of the midday luncheon. There remained precious few present with whom I could engage in discourse about matters of business. The gentleman aside me, who was grappling with his braised veal at the time, was my sole prospect. I see. Braised veal?
At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes.
Yes!
So, you're saying that you actually saw me at that time?
Affirmative. I saw you, laughing, cackling like a madman as you trained to barrel your gun on the English civilian.
But that's impossible. I only... Allow me to confirm just one point, please.
What's that, Private?
Thinking carefully about the statement you just made, it seems to me that it must have been just after you heard the gunshot that you looked over to the victim's table.
And so what if it was?
Well, if that really is the case, it would mean that you didn't in fact see the precise moment when the killer actually fired the gun.
And double
My sixth sense. Sorry?
My sixth sense of danger. I picked up the waves of murderous energy radiating from your foul mind. Which means, a split second before you pulled the trigger, I was looking right at you, Cadet.
Surely that's not really possible. Is it? Do you think I'd gotten where I am today in the army if I couldn't sense danger in the air, son? Well, it would seem this soldier is absolutely convinced that he saw you do the deed. This is not good. Okay, see, this bit right here is the thing that I think we can present on. Oops, no. We don't need to make extra slots. Should I present right now, or should we press everything? Because this would definitely be the moment where we go, let's see. Well, either this or this would work. It says he was shot in the chest, and the bullet did not pass the victim's body. And this says that he was shot from the front. So,
Yes!
I'm going for it. I don't know if you can tell, but my voice is like a teensy bit hoarse today. So, you know, trying to talk less, maybe. What are you playing at, cadet? What is the meaning of this subordination? Thrusting some photographic print in my mustache.
Inconsistency, sir. I mean, yes! There's a clear inconsistency here.
Hold on, okay, you know what? I need to like slap... I need to slap my desk, hold on. Okay, so he's slapping it like lightly. He's doing like this. No, that's... I can't make the slap noise that he's doing. It's like that, right? But when Cosmo does it, he's like that.
What nonsense! What can this print policy tell us that we don't already know?
Well, obviously, that, I know what I want to say, but the words just won't come out of my mouth.
I think this proves beyond any doubt, Your Excellency, that there's no place for an amateur student here in this grand courtroom.
So frustrating. Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require an explanation. It couldn't be more plain. To spell it out would be an insult to the court. Cosma, what?
What are you talking about?
It's apparent from a single glance at the photographic print presented by the defense that there's a clear discrepancy here with the surgeon's statement.
What?
Sergeant A.S. Anosa. Yes, sir. What, sir? The statement you just made was this. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Yes, sir! Affirmative, sir, though I witnessed the crime with my own military-grade eyes, sir.
Yes!
But no, that just can't be!
And why not, cadet?
Because...
Take a close look at the print. The victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound to the chest. Sergeant, according to your witness statement, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is the obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain it? Toda. Oh, why is there a baby? Wait, okay, so I knew there was the weird noise happening, but I didn't realize that he's got the thing around him. Like the little baby is strapped to his back. What was that? It just popped up from behind his back, but he pushed it down again. Certainly there's a clear discrepancy with the facts here. Would you not agree, Sergeant Nosa? Yes, sir. At this juncture, that would appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I heard the firearm discharge, my eyes were firmly fixed on the delicious La Carnival steak, sir.
What?
The last testimony the court heard has proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness, Sergeant E.S. Anosa, Did not see the defendant firing a gun at all.
That's absurd.
I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom. Achievement unlocked, inconsistency, Seer. There's been a complete turnabout in the mood this trial, just from that one discrepancy. So this is what being an ace attorney is all about. Oh, they said the name of the game. They said it. They said the name of the game. But I definitely saw him. That university cadet there, he was pointing the firearm directly at the victim's back.
Yes.
But I never fired the gun. All I did was pick it up off the floor. And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either? Myself, I have already been quite clear. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing?
Hunting for treasure.
Treasure?
Indeed. The Hoy-era Koban. My prize coin. On each occasion when I visit that restaurant, it is my habitude to place in my bosom pocket a particular trinket of interest from my shop, Rasute.
In the hope of meeting a rich diner who might like to buy it from you?
On the day under scrutiny, it was to the military man that I proffered my Hoy treasure. Believed that he would purchase such a rare find, I did not, but I was presented with little alternative. And then, after averting my eyes for the briefest of moments, it was there no more. It simply vanished. The Koban vanished? Hunting around under the table I was, in case mayhap it had fallen there. And then it happened. My grammar was shot.
You heard the gunshot, you mean?
Indeed I did, but I heeded it not, for I was concerned only with finding my absconded Hoy treasure. Nothing could distract me.
Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end?
No.
I see.
That lamentable day, the precious Hoy Koban was lost to me. No doubt some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prize coin for himself.
As I am sure everyone present is aware, this case demands a swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Nevertheless, the witness's testimony the court has just heard was inconclusive, no matter how subservient our government feels it must be to the British. It would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on this trial right now. What is your position, Prosecutor Alchi?
Worry not, Your Excellency. The defendant may have fled at a tiger.
Wait, what?
The defendant may have fled a tiger at the front gate, but he will find a wolf at the back. My witnesses have further testimony to make.
Explain.
Upon hearing their next statements, it will become abundantly clear that there is only one person who could possibly have committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant, Yonosuke Naruhodo.
What? He really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he? Ugh. Very well. The court invites the witnesses to testify again. You will thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegation. Is that clear?
As clear as Kirko glass, Your Excellency.
Yes, sir. At once, sir. Awaiting signal to testify, sir.
Excuse me, but there's something, or someone, peeking out over your shoulder, I think.
Affirmative. The newest member of the Nosa family to rise up through the ranks, sir. Name, Ido. It would seem those straps are a sign of the sergeant being too strapped to afford a nanny. Ido. Tension! Your father is about to quell the enemy!
Oh, that's adorably
kind of gross, but adorable still the same. Can we have Ido testify? Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing. Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man he was, that young lad in black. That much I myself did see. Furthermore, a visual search of the premise at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself. Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Over and out. These testimonies are certainly compelling. Wait, that's nonsense. The victim, Dr. Wilson, wasn't alone at all. Please, enough of these outbursts already. But there was a woman. There was a young woman in a stable. Excuse me, God, my voice. Excuse me, sorry about that. You must have seen her. Everyone there must have seen her. If you call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. We are not here to listen to your fantasies. It is evident beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the time of the incident. The prosecution has photographic evidence of this fact. Is this a photographic print of the scene of the crime, Counsel? Wait, that's a beefsteak. Indeed, of the table at which the victim was dining, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident. As can be plainly seen, there can only one place set. Certainly, based on the appearance of this print, it would be reasonable to conclude that the victim was not in the company of anyone else. This doesn't make any sense. The court will add this new photographic evidence to the record. Bottle of carbonated water and steak lunch. I don't understand. What's going on here? It's just not possible that nobody saw that woman. The waiter before us said the same thing. He maintains that Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well. But that's not true. I saw her. I swear that I saw a woman with him. It would seem that we'll be able to telegraph the report to Great Britain on time after all. The witnesses' testimonies we have just heard leave no further room for doubt. These are very sensitive political times. As we all know, the ink is still fresh on the treaty with Great Britain. To think that I, Taketsuchi Aochi, will have contributed to the amity of these two great empires is an honor. How can this be happening? The judge is ready to rule. Stand tall, Ryunosuke. It's not over yet. What? If what you say is true, then there's something going on here behind the scenes. And now is your chance to expose it. To draw out the truth in your cross-examination. I don't know, Kazuma. The defense is entitled to cross-examine the witnesses, but make it quick. Understood. Rules can be so unbending at times. The true culprit. Okay, let me save. And then I want to check something. Can we rotate evidence yet? A is examine. Magnifying glass. Hey, kanji experts. Oh, it's his kitchen. Let's see. Look, Iriguchi. So I can't, like, rotate this, huh? Wait, there's two chairs, though. Does that matter at all? That there's two chairs? Oh, wait a minute. Hey, whoa now. Wait, the chair's facing the other way. Right? Fancy glass wine. Oh, it is facing the same. Wait a minute. Wait, whoa. Did they take a picture after they moved the body? That's kind of weird. Also, this has bite marks in it. This one kind of looks like it doesn't have bite marks in it. Maybe it's just the angle, but...
Yes.
No, it's not the same thing at all. For a start, I didn't fire that gun. We have a difference of opinion on that. The opinion of a uniformed officer versus that of a fledgling cadet. I don't think so. Consider this, defendant. Just a moment ago, I blinked. Did you? Did you see it? Did you see me blink? How could I? And yet, it is an undeniable fact that I did blink. So there you have it. Have what? Attention! The sound of the firearm rang in my ears, and the very next moment, I saw you waving the gun at the Englishman. I think that says it all, don't you? And let us not forget that the antique dealer witnessed the accused in this most incriminating position as well. Isn't that so, Korikuta-san? He did not. At this point, he has got at the forearm man he was. No, you didn't. You didn't see it. You were looking for your coin. Yes, it may be true that I was holding the gun at that point in time, but I've told you already, that's only because I picked it up off the floor. Well, obviously. As a culprit, that's the only way you can explain it away. I just finished drinking my coffee, so I had to leave the restaurant when I noticed the gun on the floor at Dr. Wilson's feet, so I picked it up. At exactly that moment, a gunshot rang in my ears. Well, events beyond our control, life is. Sorry? What do you mean? In your case, you found a pistol on the floor and picked it up, which precipitated this testing predicament. Whereas conversely, I failed to pick up the Koban from the floor and find myself in an equally testing predicament as a result. Anyway, the fact remains. Myself, I did see you, with pistol in hand, standing over the foreigner. I thought he was looking at the thing the whole time, though, right? Furthermore, a visual search of the premise of the town confirmed that we were the only personnel present. But the waiter was there, allegedly. You must have noticed someone else at Dr. Wilson's table. There was a lady there. As you have been at pains to point out time and again, I feel I'm growing callous in my ear. And yet, no one appears to have caught even a glimpse of this woman. If only there'd been more people dining there at the time, then someone else would have noticed her. Unfortunately, it was already past 2 p.m. when it happened. The quiet time between lunch and dinner in any restaurant. I know. Of course, the place was almost empty, is what you'd expect. Certainly 2 p.m. is neither here nor there in terms of time to eat. I wonder if there was a reason why the victim was eating at that time of day, and why he was alone. Yes, Your Excellency, there was indeed a reason. There was. This was found in the victim's jacket pocket. What is that, Counsel? It is a medical report card, Your Excellency. It would seem that the victim had an appointment at a clinic prior to visiting the restaurant. Hota Clinic. Yes, there would indeed appear to be an entry for the date in question. 19th November, noon to past 1 p.m. The very day of the incident. So the victim went for a late lunch following his appointment. The explanation couldn't be more simple. The prosecution felt no need to submit this evidence before, as it really has no bearing on the case. I wonder. What do you think, Inosuke? Well, it's hard to see how it could be related, really. Remember, you can request for it to be entered in the court record as evidence if you think it could be useful. Yes. Absolutely yes.
Yes.
If I may, I'd like to ask for that medical report card to be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency.
On what grounds?
The court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence would be extraneous. Not to mention that the victim's movements prior to his arrival at the restaurant are of no concern.
Whether or not they are concerned is up to us to decide. We have a right to explore all possible avenues.
Hey, I beg your pardon?
You have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for the submission of evidence. Very well. The court will grant the defense's request.
Youngsters these days are forever asserting their rights. It's a most disturbing trend.
Officer, kindly ask add the victim's medical report card to the court record.
Alright, this has to be important somehow. What we need now... Sorry. What we need right now is more clues. Oh, we just got a new one. Oh, I can't examine it yet.
We have to explore things from every possible angle, even if they don't seem relevant at first.
Right, I hear you. You can conspire to prolong this trial as much as you like, but it's the day after the festival already for you. Or perhaps you've forgotten that these witnesses' testimonies leave no room for doubt. Feel free to reiterate for the accused, Korakuta-san. Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman dining all by himself. Oh, dude, again, the upgrades from the Ace Attorney games. You see the little indicator right here at the top right of the thing? Look, you can tell how far you are in the thing, so you know how many statements there are.
Yes.
So you actually saw that with your own eyes, did you? The victim, Dr. Wilson, dining alone. That I did. Forgive me for the position I place you in. So the testimonies of the old man, the soldier, and the waiter all agree on that point. Isn't that interesting? And let us not forget the incontestable evidence we have to support the statements as well. As can clearly be seen, there's only a single beefsteak on the victim's table, a meal for one. No. The antique dealer, the sergeant, and the waiter who testified before. It's not impossible that they're all lying. But if so, then why? If I'm perfectly honest, I have absolutely no idea. Oh, sorry, that was me talking.
Yes.
Why aren't you telling the truth? What? What did you say, cadet? I clearly remember. There was a woman sitting across the table from the professor. Perhaps one of you might not have noticed, but for both of you to have failed to see the professor's dining companion, it's just not possible. Unfortunately for you, Defendant Naruhodo, it's not just a case of these two witnesses alone. Sorry? The waiter, whose testimony the court heard earlier, clearly stated the same thing. He also said that the victim was alone. That's right. Precisely. In other words, you are the sole proponent of this phantom lady. But I... If such a woman were indeed present at the scene, the prosecution demands to see proof. And if no such proof exists, the prosecution demands that no further mention of this phantom woman be made. It's a blatant waste of the court's time. There's nothing I can say to that. Excellent work, Yunosuke. We've gleaned some new information now. Well, yeah, but I don't feel like it changes much. I can't see that it brings any real discrepancies to light. I wouldn't be so sure. Let me see that medical report card you got before. Oh, you mean this? Yes, this is a brand new piece of evidence. So perhaps we should examine it in a little more detail. I bet you he can't eat steak. I bet you that's it. How exactly? You'll notice that some pieces of evidence bear a magnifying glass. These are the ones you may examine. Press A, and you can take a closer look at the piece in question. Use the right stick. Aha! We can rotate things. So rotate the evidence in all directions and examine it from all angles. By using the left stick, you can move the crosshairs around to hunt for clues that may have been missed before. If the crosshairs start to pulsate, press A to investigate further. So, partner, I think you should take a closer look at this medical report card. See if there isn't something new to be learned by examining it in more detail. Alright, I see what I can do. I gotta use my sticks and my A button to inspect any areas of evidence that look suspicious. Hoda Clinic. Dentist. Wait, he went to a dentist? Wait a minute. A dentist? Looks like this medical report card was first issued quite some time ago. It's probably a record of long-term treatment, that's why. With a family doctor, I imagine. Well, I can't imagine going to a doctor. I mean, as long as I'm alive, I'm never consulting one. No, if you were dead, there'd be no point. So you don't like doctors then? Why would you? Make you drink horrible tasting medicine, give you painful injections, and they demand lots of money from you for the privilege. Oh, you're the lowest ebb. You sound like a model patient. With a bad case of stubbornness, no less, which the only cure is very bitter medicine indeed. Can I see what's inside? Let's have a look. Some kind of medical history. Ah, there's an entry for the day the professor was killed. Extraction of molar with topical anesthesia. Extraction of molar? You mean he had a tooth taken out? It would seem so. Just before the incident, he had a bad tooth removed. Perhaps they used laughing gas. That's the most modern practice in the West for pain relief. Yes, I've heard of this anesthesia. It's hard to believe there's anything that can actually stop you feeling pain. There's a cautionary note for the medical practitioner as well. Strictly no food or drink besides water for 3 hours. Post-procedure until anesthetic effects have passed. Really? Sounds like information worth bearing in mind. There we go. With this new information, the meaning of that one particular statement totally changes. So I think it's time we listen to the testimony again, don't you? Definitely. Alright. Saving. Music. So good. Alright, let's get to the point where he's dining all by himself. Wait, no, shit. No, it's on the fourth one. Fourth one I wanted. I just wanted to make sure that only, you know, like one thing. Let me get to it, please. Just let me get back to it. We have just what we need. Using it to our advantage. Okay, I will. Just let me get back to it, please. Please, Kazuma. Please. The crucial points of the video have prohibited from doing anything but water when it's shot. Okay, so. Okay, sorry for not reading all of that aloud, but. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Well, I think about what are you whittering, lad? Call yourself a lawyer. Wish I could. But first and foremost here, I'm the accused. Ryunosuke. Everyone stumbles on their words occasionally. Under the circumstances, I wouldn't worry about it. Thanks, Kazuma. I could see it quite clear in that cross-examination you just carried out. When you raised your hand straight up like that, so purposefully, you knew exactly what it was you wanted to say. Don't feel like you have to choose your words carefully. Just say what you're thinking. What are you all thinking right now? Are you thinking my voice sounds like shit today? Because that's what I'm thinking. Korikuta-san, this is a medical report card belonging to the victim. I see. And I don't see. What of it, boy? Comparing what is written on this report card with your witness's statement. Something clearly doesn't add up.
Objection!
Dear me, have you forgotten my words so soon, you amateur?
Sorry, what?
You are not to interrupt court proceedings with your amateur's drivel.
But...
Let's see if I can explain in words you might understand. It was after 2 p.m. in the afternoon when the victim was murdered at the restaurant. Whatever he may or may not have been done before that time is completely irrelevant.
But that's... Remember, Ryunosuke, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words. Alright. Sleep well, Davkin, as you fall asleep. Just make your point.
Your Excellency, I believe we're finished here. There's surely no need to prolong this trial further.
Since when is since today? Since today. I made this VTube avatar myself this weekend. For funsies.
The witness's testimonies the court has heard has been clear and concise. This medical report card has no bearing on the matter at all, for the simple reason that there's no one else besides this pale-faced pupil who...
This medical report card has nothing to do with the case? Do you really believe that?
What? That outburst how petrified me, boy.
With what program? With Live 2D and GIMP. I actually did a stream, was it last week? A week or so ago? Something like that? Where I made one on stream, pretty much. Hold on. I made this one on stream last time. Like last week? Or no, the week before last, I think. On a Sunday or something. I made this little pudding blob guy for fun. So... Which it is fun to make, but that one was just like testing and learning how to do things, and you know, this one is this also for some reason. Hold on, I gotta make her small again. There we go.
That outburst has petrified me, boy.
Of course I believe it. How could it possibly be relevant? Perhaps because Hota Clinic, which issued the report card, is a dental clinic.
A dental clinic? Is that supposed to mean something to me?
Perhaps if I told you that the victim had just had a tooth extracted?
What's this now?
And furthermore, if I told you that as a result the victim had been forbidden from eating. Just what are you trying to say, Cadet? He had orders not to eat, so what? It's all written up in here. No food or drink other than water for 3 hours, post-procedure while anesthesia wears off.
Huh? No, that can't.
Korikuta-san.
What, boy? What?
As you just heard, when he was killed, sometime shortly after 2 p.m., the victim couldn't have been eating anything at all.
No.
Additionally, There's more. You have assured the court with unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. But that cannot possibly be the case. Because the victim, as we now know, had just one of his teeth extracted and was still experiencing the effects of the anesthesia. Oh! Expertly done, partner. I liked it this time when he slammed the desk, it made noise. It was good.
What is this nonsense, you little upstart?
These are baseless accusations. Just look at this photographic evidence. You can clearly see the plate of food at the victim's table.
Objection!
Use your head. That's the very discrepancy we're talking about. Or can't you follow the logic?
How dare you?
I think it's fair to say that the tables in this restaurant have turned. Wouldn't you agree, Rinosuke? Yes, most definitely. So having just undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat. Which leaves one very crucial conundrum. Who, in fact, was eating the pictured beefsteak? The court will hear the opinion of the defense on this new puzzle. I assume you're ready, counsel. Counsel? Oh, that means me, doesn't it? Alright. The answer to this question is going to be pivotal, so you should save your game so you don't mess it up. Oh, I had such a good steak when I was in New York. I did not take a picture. Oh wait. Yeah, no, I did not take a picture of it, I'm pretty sure. Hold on. Ugh. I'm gonna double check because I was at dinner with my two bosses. My boss and his boss's boss. So I don't think I took my phone out to take pictures while I was with them. But let me double check because it was a really good steak. I got pictures of Korean barbecue. Yeah, no, I don't. I do have pictures of like some random stuff, but it was alright. Did I watch Boruto? I haven't. I've seen the first like 130 something, maybe 180 something episodes of Naruto, but I have never watched Boruto. This is the start of you turning this chart, which that reminds me, just to talk about watching things. I still need to watch the first and second? Yeah, the first and second episode of The Mandalorian Season 3 that started coming out. Got it. So, the person eating the steak at the victim's table must have been me. Hold on. Can I, Oh, that's unexpected. What is? Look, do you see it says the witness's name here? Satoru Hosonaga. Oh, yeah, business cards do tend to show the person's name. That's sort of the point. It's not the name that's unexpected. It's his job title. His job. Oh! Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga. Primary Criminal Investigation Division? Imperial Police Bureau. Inspector? What on earth? I have no idea. But let's face it, the police have a lot of power and influence. If they're wielding it somehow here... Okay, so this is all that text, right? Okay, yeah, same thing. I wonder if they didn't modify the like text and just kept it with the Japanese because of like how difficult changing the images made some of the puzzles in the other game. Oh, even that's that. I do wish there was like a super skip button though. Playing restaurant raises a number of questions, I think. It's supposed to show the relative position of everything in the moments following the incident. But there's nothing to show the woman you say you saw there. And in the upper left where it says kitchen. Oh yes, what of it? No one would use those complicated characters to write kitchen. Just not if they were in a hurry. You don't remember those characters yourself, don't you? Study harder, Ryunosuke. That's funny. Victim himself, me, the two witnesses. Two witnesses, a yet unknown third party. I'm gonna go with that one because that's the woman. Obviously, it can only have been someone else who was sitting at the professor's table. You will not let this go, will you? There was no such person. There was, because I saw her. When the incident occurred, we know that the victim couldn't have been eating anything. Yet we have evidence of the half-eaten steak on this table. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that there was somebody else there eating it. We have strong evidence to support our assertion. It's clear that these witnesses' testimonies are unreliable. If the court decides to push through a ruling at this stage, we will lodge a formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice and pursue a fair retrial, relentlessly. Cosmo. Are you insane? You would take on the government? Don't worry, Counsel. I have no issue with you. What do you mean? I have issue with them. Those two witnesses in the stand. What are you talking about? We have demonstrated with evidence that the victim was not alone. So, if it now turns out that the two of you deliberately lied when giving your testimonies, obviously you'll be charged with perjury. Perjury. And, since this is a murder trial, you will also be deemed complicit in the killing. Complicit? In murder? No. No! Think of Ado. No, negative. There's no mention of this at the tactical meeting. I was just following orders. That's right, as the man says. Just say you never saw the gentlewoman. That's what they, told us. Oh. What? What did you just say, Korakuta-san? Oh, no. You were just following orders? Now, hold on, lad. I was, Say you never saw the gentlewoman. When you say gentlewoman, do you mean you saw the victim with a lady from overseas? What? What is the meaning of all this? These witnesses gave false statements? Is this true, you pair? Just one. Just one simple slip of the tongue. Order. Order. Counsel, explain what is going on here. It's painfully clear now. You tried to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth. Absolutely not. The prosecution knows nothing of this. Then who's behind this? Who tried to make you keep your mouth shut? Well, that's classified. So you're prepared to be tried as a conspirator to this murder, are you? You wouldn't. This can't be happening. Dude, look at the baby pulling on his mustache. It's so cute. That's so adorable. Yeah. Yunosuke, judging from the way they're reacting to this, I'd say they were sworn to silence by someone with considerable influence. However, I don't believe Aochi had any idea about it. What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence, there are only a handful of possibilities. Could only have been the government, the military, or the police, I suppose. Well, any ideas about who might be behind this? If we can confirm who tried to silence these witnesses, then we can continue our pursuit. So we need to name whoever it was that tried to make the witnesses keep their mouths shut. Of course, we need evidence before we make any firm accusations. Evidence that proves whoever it was really did wield his or her power here. But how? How can we possibly... Remember how we made progress before? We examined this piece of evidence in more detail and found a new clue as a result. Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, that's not the only piece of evidence we have, is it? We need to re-examine everything. Make sure there's nothing we've missed. There's no time to lose. I want answers. If it's proven that these witnesses have been manipulated, I assure you the penalty will be severe.
Please, wait, Your Excellency. I had no idea about any of this. I swear to every Shinto god. I knew nothing.
And what does the defense have to say about all of this?
Well, Your Excellency, I need to drink some water real quick because my throat's dying.
No time to think. Just have to close my eyes and shout the first thing that comes into my head. Right after I save my game. Medical stool, authority in forensic medicine. Hosonaga is inspector. Maybe Hosonaga was investigating what's this face? Besides the prosecution, the only person with the necessary influence to manipulate the witnesses is not this guy, but this guy. He's the only police person we have. Well, surely that would be Satoru Hosonaga-san. Hosonaga-san? The waiter who took the stand earlier? Poppycock! What possible reason would the waiter have to make those witnesses give false testimony? Not to mention the fact that even a head waiter could not possibly have that level of influence. For once, I would agree with you. If, that is, the man truly were a waiter. What? If he truly were? Come on, Ryunosuke. Time to hit this court with the truth. The truth about Satoru Hosonaga-san's real identity, as proven by this evidence. The plan of the restaurant sketched by the man in question. I agree, it shows a great deal of attention to detail, but I'm not sure we can conclude anything. Sorry, Your Excellency, that's the back of the card. It's the back of the card that's of interest. I beg your pardon. Or perhaps I should have said the front? Yes, it's the front of the back of the card. That's what the telling detail you know, Skia, get your shit together, man. Just say the front. Would somebody please explain what this overexcited student is trying to say? Hosonaga-san sketched the plan of the restaurant on the reverse side of his business card. The front of that business card reveals the man in question's profession. His true profession. The waiter's profession. That's surely good. Good gracious! That's right, Your Excellency. The card reads, Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau.
Oh, the waiter is a police detective? I haven't heard any mention of this before. Why haven't I heard any mention of this before?
The Imperial Police Bureau has immense power. Absolute power as far as regular civilians are concerned. So, witnesses there in the stand. Was it in fact the waiter who gave you your orders? Was it he who told you not to mention that you'd seen this foreign gentlewoman at the scene? Well. Inspector Hosonaga. I was worried something like this may happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized it was a possibility. Okay, we don't really need this flashback. Like this case isn't that long, you know? Problem? Here you are. Yes, I remember now. He did act strangely when the judge asked him to hand over his business card. I strive to carry out all investigations flawlessly, as my guiding principle. But I let myself be distracted when I made that sketch. It was an unusually careless mistake. Wait, whose mannerisms are his? So, you mean to say, you really are a detective? I was thinking maybe he's like secretly Von Karma's ancient relative or something. But why would a detective be working as a restaurant waiter? Of course. Your salary must be terrible. I was working undercover. Oh, that's good. That's good. Undercover. Yes. There have been a series of incidents at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter, working undercover. Incidents at the restaurant? What kind of incidents? That would be classified police information, which I am not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to this case of homicide. Very well then, Inspector Hosonaga. But you will elaborate on one point for the court. Of course, Your Excellency. We have just heard new information from the two witnesses besides you. That at the time of the shooting, there was in fact another person present at the victim's table. If that is indeed true, clearly you would have also been aware of this person's presence, having served at the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to this other diner, therefore I am led to assume that in your professional capacity as a police officer, you require these witnesses to be in agreement. Would that be correct? Correct, Your Excellency. Unbelievable. As I suspected. As soon as I heard the gunshot, I ran out of the kitchen to see what had happened. The victim sat slumped in his chair. Besides him, gun in hand, stood the accused student. Sitting opposite the victim at the same table was a young lady, whom I guessed to be an Englishwoman. So the truth comes out. I immediately sealed off the restaurant and reported the incident to the Bureau. It was then that I received some special orders. Special orders? You mean to say, remove the Englishwoman from the scene at once. It was made clear that the Englishwoman's presence at the restaurant was to be concealed. Those were my orders. But what if this Englishwoman was the killer? I think it would be in everyone's best interest not to pursue that idea. The Empire views the friendly terms of its relationship with Britain more highly than anything at the moment. An English man has been murdered on our soil. To name an Englishwoman as the primary suspect? Huh. Without irrefutable evidence, that'll be completely out of the question. So that's the reason for the disappearance of the Phantom Woman in this case. But it's not right. One possibility does spring to mind. What do you mean, Cosmo? Yuma University is currently hosting a number of exchange students from Britain, and I'm fairly certain that one of them, studying in the medical faculty's research laboratory, is a young Englishwoman. What? Ah, yes, the one Englishwoman of everyone who's come. Though, to be honest, we're like, what, like Meiji era or something like that? Probably not too many women traveling about between countries, I bet. Or at least not to Japan. You're a shrewd man. I can see why you're the chosen candidate for the overseas study tour. You mean? When I removed the woman from the scene of the crime, I thought it prudent to check her identity first. Then the court demands that you name the lady in question at once, Inspector. The Englishwoman sitting at the university professor's table was a certain Miss Jezebel Brett. She's indeed a foreign student studying the research laboratory of Yume University's medical faculty. Oh, what is happening here? I admit that under orders from the police bureau, I erased all evidence of this lady's presence at the scene, and ordered these witnesses to make no mention of her in their testimony. It must now be up to your excellency to decide how to deal with this situation. Well, get her ass in the court. Very well, my thoughts on the matter are as follows. Thus far, the case presented to the court has been underpinned by a particularly critical premise. Namely, that the victim was dining alone. However, as we have now discovered that this premise is false, it would be a desecration of our justice system to ignore the truth and give a ruling at this point.
But, Your Excellency, that would mean missing the noon deadline of a ruling in order to send a telegraphic report to Great Britain. Our own government will surely be very displeased by such actions.
Calm your tits, Counsel. I will not allow the government of our country or any other to influence the proceedings of my courtroom. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes, sir. You will locate this Jezebel Brett and escort her to the courtroom with the utmost urgency. At once, Your Excellency.
But that means you'll be going against the special orders you were given from the police bureau.
As I said before, it is my guiding principle to carry out all investigations flawlessly.
So it won't be a problem?
Nothing will get in my way. Oh, this man right into my heart right there. Look at that face. What a beautiful, like, God. This man is ready to go fitness boxing with the North Star. This poor anemic man. Court will adjourn briefly. The prosecution must call the English student, Giselle Brett, to the witness stand. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Excellency.
Good. Then we'll have a 30-minute recess before reconvening. To be continued. Nice. We've done it. We've proven that he wasn't alone. Surprised that the tutorial has a two-parter. Got my throat though. That's I don't know if any of you are in the northeast of America, but it is very snowy, and the weather, like, changing around and being crazy and everything like that, does tend to, like, kind of fuck with my systems a little bit. So it is, like, super snowy out, and yeah. Also, I feel like if I take off my glasses, which I have just done, that the tracking gets like 50,000 times better on the eyes. Though it does still do like the like one eye blink every now and then. I don't really know why. I suppose maybe just like tracking with a webcam versus like real face tracking software stuff or something causes issues. But also I feel like the glasses get in the way. So that, and probably like my lighting could be better, but all right, the glasses are going back on, so prepare yourself for single eye winks once more. Excellent work, Yunosuke. That was superb. My heart was in my mouth the entire time. Also, I don't know if anyone else has played this game before, but how long is the second part of this trial, I wonder? Because it is 10:10, and I did not cut the VOD. I really should have, but I'm gonna have to like render video all night because I had to clip out the fitness of the North Star out. It was almost unbelievable. I mean, look at you in there. You were drenched in sweat, your eyes popping out, your knees knocking, and you were grinding your teeth. It's a grim sight. But before I knew it, you started finding inconsistencies in the testimonies. Think you might have a natural talent for being a lawyer. Forget it. It's terrifying. If I get through this, I don't ever want to see the inside of a courtroom again. Anyway, it looks like we've exposed your Phantom Lady at last. Miss Giselle Brett. A student from Great Britain, is she? That's what I was trying to tell everyone from the start. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone. There's a young woman with him, like I've been saying all along. Yes, you have, haven't you? I might not be overly confident in the courtroom, but my powers of observation are one thing I'm sure of. Yes, I can see that. So, about this young gentlewoman. Thanks to our detective friend, she was hastily escorted away from the scene, it seems. Did you see what happened after that? Or with that? No, I didn't see any of it. I was just on my way out of the restaurant myself. Then on the floor next to Dr. Wilson's table, I noticed there was a gun lying on the floor. And just after I bent down and picked it up, I didn't have time to think about where the sound of the gunshot had come from. The waiter ran over to me, looking as white as a sheet, and he bundled me into some sort of small pantry next to the kitchen. Fast thinking by the detective. He apprehended his suspect without a moment's delay. Yes, and because I was shut in the pantry, I have no idea what happened outside of the dining area. Ah, there you are. Well done, both of you. Professor Mikotoba. Well, seems I was right. The pair of you make an outstanding team. You've exceeded my expectations, I have to say. Yes, it seems you planned this from the start. You arranged things so I wouldn't be able to act as a lawyer in this trial. Our modern country is still in its infancy. Our justice systems, even more so. Which is why I firmly believe that we need to send our brightest young stars overseas to learn all they can. I wanted to avoid a situation that may have resulted in your study tour to Great Britain being cancelled. Well, makes no difference. Lawyer or otherwise, if I'm the kind of man who can't help his best friend avert the worst crisis of his life, I shouldn't waste everyone's time by going to study overseas anyway. What are you saying, Kazuma? So that's your stance. I was afraid you feel that way. Kazuma! Well then. Looks like it all comes down to you, young man. To me? Yes. You need to prove your innocence and uncover what really took place in that restaurant. I must say, I very much want to know the truth. After all, a personal connection to this case. Come to think of it, he said the same thing earlier this morning, didn't he? Mind me asking, Professor, did you know the victim? Yes, I did. As you're probably aware, Dr. John H. Wilson was a visiting professor at UMA. It was I who invited him. Oh, I see. I didn't know that before. Anyway, you're about to go into battle. The victim was a university professor from Great Britain, and a well-known one at that. Naturally, our government is looking to identify and punish the culprit as quickly as possible. But let's not forget who we're up against. The gentlewoman whose involvement over our police bureau went to extraordinary lengths to hide. Do you think she's gonna look like, Dahlia? Yes, and I'm sure the prosecution will be using every tool at their disposal to quash your case. But I've no doubt that you pair will put up a good fight, right to the last. Best of luck. Thank you. Now then. I need you to run an errand at the university at once. There's something I think we may need. course. Good luck, Cosmo-san. Sama. Are you two betrothed? Defendant Naruhodo. Count recesses. Count. What's wrong with me? Court recess is over. Please make your way back inside the courtroom at once. It's time to duel, partner. Let's get in there and deal a decisive blow before those old fossils know what's hit them. Yeah, let's insult people because of their age. That's cool. Cosmo? What? Thank you. Really? What for? Well, if you hadn't said you believe me, then I'm fairly sure I'd already been found guilty by now. Look, I have faith in you. As a lawyer, and as a friend. Coming from you, that means a lot. If I'm found guilty in this trial, he's really going to give up on his dream of studying abroad. That's the kind of true friend he is. So this isn't just my battle anymore. Whoever we're up against, we absolutely cannot afford to lose. Alright then. I'll say the thank yous for after the trial. You can treat me to one of those sukiyaki meals I like from Yume Cafeteria on University Street. With an extra large portion, of course. Yeah. Friends and noodles. Friendship and noodles. 12:09 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 2. The court hereby resumes the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Prosecutor Aochi, have you managed to subpoena the witness? Yes, Your Excellency. Against all odds. And thanks to a certain young stripling, the prosecution is now under rather painful scrutiny from the government. Sorry. Let the government scrutinize. That's their job. Nothing to worry about. Highly unlikely that the good relations we forged with Great Britain will emerge from this trial unscathed. Will you still think it's nothing to worry about when the new treaty breaks down and our nation founders? Again, terribly sorry. If the friendship between our nations is really so fragile, then the treaty isn't worth the paper it's written on. You really have nothing to worry about, Ryunosuke. What do you mean? A secret trial, anxiety over some foreign government's opinions, a bungled investigation, missing witnesses. Is this what our nation's justice system is? Is this the Supreme Court of Japan or of England? Shut up! Shut up, you jumped-up rookie boy! You and your friend know nothing of the situation our nation finds itself in. By aligning ourselves with this great world power, we'll become strong. Diplomacy has never been more critical. Steady political maneuvering is what will secure our futures. I won't deny that I'm no expert. I'm just a student, and one who could arguably study harder too. But standing here now in our Supreme Court, there's one thing that I feel very strongly. A country that fails to uphold the truth in its justice system is a country with no future at all. Well said, Ryunosuke. Despite the wide-eyed look of terror. You little brats! Thank you, Counsel. This courtroom is the pinnacle of our nation's justice system, and exists solely for the pursuance of truth. With that in mind, this trial will now resume, with the next witness taking the stand. The visiting student from Great Britain, Miss Giselle Barrett. Yes. Your Excellency. Hot damn. Look at that hat. She's got a swan on her hat. Well, what a delight it is to welcome such a fine gentlewoman to Japan, and from such a distant land. Tea. Someone bring English tea. In England, no discussions take place without tea. Is that true? No idea. So, could we possibly trouble you to state your name and occupation for the court? Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I have been working undercover as the head waiter at La Carnival. My true... Yes, yes, we know all about you already. Inspector Hosonaga, where are your manners? In England, it's always ladies first. Is that true? No idea. More importantly, a little earlier today you said something to me. You said your powers of observation are the one thing you're sure of. Oh, yes, I think I did, didn't I? Yet your description for this amazing sight was simply a woman. Are you a homosexual, Ryunosuke? Oh, your powers of description are sorely lacking. Guilty. Maybe it's like Sherlock Holmes, how he refers to Irene Adler as the woman. So, dear lady, once again, if we may trouble you for your name and occupation, please. Alright, show me them eyes. Oh, you're not going to. She's speaking English. Oh, that's a good way of doing it. Ah, I'm terribly sorry, dear lady, but... What? The lady says her name is Giselle Brett. She comes from London, England. She's a visiting research student currently enrolled in Yuma University's medical faculty. Oh my, what a rare treat to hear the dulcet tones of the delightful language of the British people. I'm afraid I don't understand a word you said, but it's as beautiful as a hummingbird's song. As far as I can tell. The detective is translating her words faithfully enough. Yes, I agree. You obviously do fine in England, Kazuma. Her English doesn't rattle you at all, does it? Nor you. You've clearly been paying attention in your English classes, Ryunosuke. The court thanks the beautiful lady for taking the stand. Now, we may trouble you to confirm something, Miss Brett. 3 days ago, at a restaurant called La Carnival, a grim murder took place. The court has been led to believe that you were dining there with the victim, Dr. Wilson, at the time. Is that correct? Beep boop pop, beep boop pop, beep boop pop pop pop, beep pop 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 pop. She says yes. This could take some time. So even though she's studying here in Japan, she can't speak any Japanese. I wonder... Yeah, no, that's you can't read that. She'd like to apologize for disappearing from the scene. She says that she was due to make a presentation at the university, so she had to leave immediately. Interesting. When you're the one who engineered her escape. I was just following special orders from the Bureau. Well now, dear lady, would you be so kind as to cast your eyes over this photographic print? Seeing as you were so, unfortunately, present at the scene of the crime, could it be that your resplendent eyes caught sight of the wicked perpetrator, perhaps? Apparently, it was a very frightening and sorrowful sight. Do you mean to say? Yes. It appeared that the lady did witness the crime. The very moment when the accused, standing right there in this courtroom, shot the victim in cold blood. Yeah, I don't know about that. Order. Order in the court. Did you hear that, Your Excellency? Here we have an absolutely conclusive witness statement. Well, looks like it's clear now. Clear who our real enemy is. Unfortunately, I will have to ask you to formally testify, if you please. Kindly tell the court the exact nature of this frightening and sorrowful sight you described. Okay, how's this gonna work? Oh god. I had arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered for myself only a beefsteak. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor, and they got into a fierce argument. Then, not long afterward, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. I don't carry a gun myself, so obviously I couldn't have been the culprit. Wait. She's from an English-speaking country and she doesn't carry a gun?
Yes.
Objection. I didn't have any kind of argument with the professor at all. Quiet, you filthy wretch. Look at you, you black-hearted blackguard. Look at this Snow White angel. I'm sure even a dark-minded scoundrel like you can imagine whose words the court is going to believe. You're still making the same mistakes, Ryunosuke. You mustn't blurt out when you're goaded like that. There's a lesson that you need to learn. But he's so annoying. Of course I was at the scene as well. I took statements from this lady and the two witnesses who testified before, reported back to the Bureau. It was decided that Miss Brett was not involved, so I let her go. The testimonies of the last 2 witnesses were completely worthless, however. Well, even so. And on the day in question, the lady was wearing the same outfit as she is today. As you can see, there's no about her person where she could conceal a firearm. How about the giant freaking duck? Swan. Bird. On her head. I don't think she could hide a gun almost anywhere in that outfit if she wanted to. Unless and until the precise location where the witnesses to have hidden a weapon can be shown, this is moot. In her butt. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. Those are the witness's own words on the matter. It's ridiculous. Well, there's allowed to lift up her dress. I could prove it. My friend. Ryunosuke. Your lecherous actions shall bring shame to this whole courtroom. Don't think about doing anything rash, Ryunosuke. But I didn't fire the gun I picked up. There must have been another gun there that day. You're right about that. Which means this lady was hiding a gun somewhere. I guess this is what we have to prove now. And to do so, we will need to pull her testimony apart. Ho ho ho. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. Oh, yes, Your Excellency. Alright. Arranged to meet for a slightly late lunch with Dr. Wilson that day.
Yes.
You knew about the dentist thing? After 2 p.m. in fact. That's really quite a late lunch, isn't it? You don't keep up with the latest fashions from Britain, do you? Late lunches are in vogue, isn't that right? No. I like that one stance. Oh, that's good. Ah. Decisive English no has quite a sting to it. The gentlewoman is currently working in the victim's research laboratory, it seems. So it was apparently a daily occurrence that they would lunch together. But on the day in question, the victim had another appointment at the clinic first. Yes, which we can prove from the medical report card that was submitted as evidence earlier. That's right. Miss Brett and the victim went to lunch following the victim's treatment, which is why it was so late. Yes, that's all makes perfect sense. Such wonderful logic. What a shining example of English intelligence this fine gentlewoman is. So you both arrived at the restaurant. What happened next? A beefsteak. I don't really feel like we should bother pressing on it, but I will anyway. Because you just had a tooth removed at Hotta Clinic, correct? That's right. You're supposed to actually check with the witness before answering. Was Miss Brett aware of that fact? It seems so, yes. She'd heard that the professor was having some dental treatment. So that would mean... That it was you who ate the steak pictured here. Is that right, Miss Brett? She managed to eat that steak without getting anything on her dress, huh? The print you have there shows the table exactly as it was left after the horrifying events. Exactly as it was left? Dear me, what a harrowing experience! To have traveled to a distant island on the far side of the world and be embroiled in such a tragic incident. Have no fear, my dear lady. I swear I will crush the evil fiend that has subjected you to this terrible plight. So the victim, Dr. Wilson, had nothing to eat or drink at all? That's right, other than some carbonated water. Just water? Yes, the professor was unable to eat, but he'd been given permission to drink water. So it appears that the diners toasted the lunch with a glass of water each. They each raised a glass of carbonated water. What do you think, Inosuke, about the witness's last statement? I mean, it being carbonated seems a little bit weird. That last statement of yours, Miss Brett, has a profound bearing on this case. Well, well, how fascinating. Do tell us, what is this profound bearing? The significance of the statement will become apparent when the time is right. The defense calls for the witness's last statement to be formally added to the testimony. Well, sidestepped, counsel. Very well, Miss Brett. Kindly repeat what you just said to be added to your official testimony. Gladly, she says. I like that her mask smiles with the eyes. That was brilliant, Cosma. I'm gonna remember that one. Which one? The significance will become apparent when the time is right. I could really use that phrase. I had hoped there are some more useful tips you're picking up from this experience than that, Inosuke. I ordered a beefsteak for myself and the person. I said, cheers, for a glass of carbonated water. Why is he on the side with the food, though? Also, there's only one glass here. I suppose that's because the waiter modified things. Still, that is an inconsistency with what they said. So they definitely moved it. Okay, I don't think I can do anything with that yet. Should I just present now, or should I? Yeah, you know, we should press on everything, just in case there's more info.
Yes.
I never got into an argument with the professor. All I did when I noticed him was go over to say hello. Please don't get angry with me. I wasn't directing that retort at you. It was meant for the lady next to you. And anyway, as I said, I did not argue with the professor. I'm afraid your words are in vain. Sorry? Miss Brett does not appear to speak Japanese. No, of course not. Japanese is such a cumbersome language anyway. English is the future. We must all speak English. I wonder if the prosecution will feel that way forever, or only in the presence of a beautiful woman. Wow, that beautiful woman is telling blatant lies with a completely straight face. I had to find something that will unravel her testimony, no matter how seemingly insignificant it may be. Anyway, it seems that after the argument, the accused briefly returned to his own seat. That part ties in what you said, doesn't it? Yes, I still had some coffee to drink. And the next time you got up after that was when I'd finished my coffee and stepped to leave. Okay. We'll keep pressing. Like I said, I did not shoot the gun. And like I said, there's no point repeating that assertion over and over. Well, I wasn't expecting to be attacked by my own side. Nevertheless, defendant, you can't deny that when the shot rang out in the restaurant, you had a gun in your hand. Well, yes, that's true, but... And all I did was pick up the gun I saw on the floor next to the professor as I was leaving the restaurant. In fact, yes, there was someone much closer to the victim than me at that time. The highly suspicious lady. That won't do, you dirty, rotten scoundrel. Dirty? Your baseless accusations could very well cause an international incident, boy. It seems to me that your accusation is just as baseless as ours. What nonsense! The lady is merely stating what she saw. And this is already an international incident as far as I'm concerned anyway.
Yes.
It's all very well saying that, but can you prove it? Absolutely. I verified it personally. You verified it? Yes. Immediately after the incident, I checked to make sure the lady was not carrying a weapon. I distinctly remember her saying, "I'm not." That's all you did? You just asked her? Surely you carried out a physical search, Inspector. No. Why on earth not? The Honorable English gentleman was clearly saying that she did not possess a weapon. There was obviously no need for any further probing into the matter. Or there was no permission given for any further probing into the matter, perhaps. Think what you will. But if you're going to continue with this preposterous claim that the refined lady was concealing a firearm, the prosecution demands that you support your assertion with facts. In other words, he wants evidence. The lady wishes to point out that of course she wanted to stay and assist with the investigation, but she was in a hurry to give a presentation at the university, so she was compelled to leave. Not to mention the fact that your office had told you to get the woman out of there. Now, get her out of here. I just urged her to leave. The lady would like to point out that she is in no way meant to run away from the scene of the crime. Which is why she's only too happy to cooperate and testify here in court today, of course. Unlike a certain student who refuses to admit when the game is up. You could at least have the courtesy to pay attention when I'm goading you. So she's maintaining you got into an argument with the professor at the end of which you shot him. Which is an out-and-out, total unfounded lie. Still, her statement is very compelling. After all, she's an elegant, refined, young, and beautiful gentlewoman from Great Britain. In stark contrast to you, dressed from head to toe in a dull black school uniform. I'm dressed exactly the same way you are, sort of the flapping red ribbons. Well, anyway, this is our only chance to expose her testimony as the fiction that it is. If we can't do that, the trial's over. Even you with your thick skin must be able to feel the murderous looks you're getting from around the room. Only too well. Feel half dead already. And the fact that I can't see a single inconsistency in your testimony isn't making me feel any better either. The first thing to do is press her on any statements that seem even slightly off to you. Do that, and an opening will present itself. I promise you. I need to expose the true face of this exotic foreigner that's behind the mask. That's what I should be aiming for this cross-examination. Alright. Alright, we got all the testimony. Now the question is, do I present this that says he's only allowed to have water? Or do I present the picture with the single glass? Okay, tooth. Laughing gas, he couldn't feel anything. No food or drink other than water. Hello. Is that the bottle or is that in the glass? Oh, it's this. Alright, well I want to present this, because this is the thing that's suspicious to me. That's it? Let me just confirm something, please. It's to do with this photographic print. Just a short while ago, you spoke of this print showing the victim's table at the crime scene. That it was exactly as it was left. That is correct, the lady says. Well, that is... it's odd. Very odd. Dear me, what's odd is the defense's inability to express itself. Ugh. Yunosuke, what is it about the print that looks odd to you? Well, obviously it's... it's the cheers. The cheers? Miss Brett just told us that she and the professor said cheers over a glass of water. But if that's true, there should be 2 glasses on the table, not 1. You're quite right, Counsel. There's only 1 glass pictured here. Are we supposed to be impressed by this nitpicking over minutiae? What possible difference does the presence or absence of a glass make on the case? Excuse me, God. Minutia, you say? Could it be that the detective here removed a glass from the table to conceal the lady's presence? Of course not. I would never do something so reckless. But there should have been 2 glasses on the table. Or are you going to try to tell me you can clink with only 1? You're quite right. I certainly took 2 glasses to the table. Inspector, what did the lady say? It would seem that it was Miss Brett who took the glass from the table. What? It was also terrifying, everything that happened. I panicked and thought I should try to hide the fact that I'd been there at all, she's saying. Good gracious! Where did you hide it? In your non-hideable glass dress? Sorry. There. As I assured the court before, this is no consequence at all. No, please. We must remember this student had just murdered this lady's luncheon companion before her very eyes. Who could blame her for concealing a glass or 2 in her state of disarray? That's absurd. Oh, really? So do we take it that you are now going to accuse this vulnerable, young, and beautiful woman of mischief? What? No, this can't be put down to mischief. I'd like to know exactly how the lady took the glass from the scene. It would seem that she slipped it into a small handbag she was carrying. Oh, a place to put a gun? A handbag, you say? Yes, Your Excellency. A small handheld pouch commonly carried by well-to-do women in England. Huh. So the beautiful lady has very graciously explained how and why she removed the glass from the scene now. However, the fact remains that this glass has absolutely no bearing on the case. This student has been trying to confuse the court with logical reasoning, but in the end it comes down to nothing. No more pretentious accusations! You wasted enough time already. Indeed. The lady has offered a satisfactory explanation as to why she removed this glass. I think henceforth we can consider the matter of no bearing on the case. Counsel for the defense, are you in agreement? Well, I don't know. If you want to pursue this matter further, you're going to need to show that it has some deeper significance. Yes, you're right. So she took the glass away in her handbag. There's a deeper significance there. It's the handbag. Wait, the lady put the glass in her handbag, you say? Yes. Do try to keep up.
It's already been explained to the court that all English gentlewomen carry handbags for small items.
Let me see. A little while ago, Miss Brett stated the following. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. But what she forgot to mention was her handbag, in which it would be purely possible to conceal a gun. You're right. Well done, partner. I had a feeling you'd pick up on that too.
What are you insinuating, you vile blackguard?
It's really very simple. The gunshot was heard when the defendant picked up the gun from the restaurant floor. As he didn't fire that gun, we can deduce there must have been another firearm at the scene. The true murder weapon, if you will.
You can't seriously be suggesting.
Inspector Hosonaga.
Yes.
Did you, or did you not search Miss Jezebel's Brett's handbag on the day of the murder? No, sir, I did not. As I thought. In other words, another gun, the one that was actually used to kill the professor, could have been hidden in Miss Brett's handbag.
No!
Order. Order. Order.
What is the meaning of this, Inspector?
The meaning of what, Prosecutor Alchi?
Why on earth did you not have the lady open her handbag and show you the contents at the time? Thanks to your bungling incompetence, now she has to endure these uncomfortable accusations.
Brilliant work, partner. Now we have a chance to expose the real one behind the mask. You think so, Cosma? Well, what a sorry situation. Clearly you have no faith in the police. Huh? As I said, I did not search the lady's handbag after the shooting, simply because it was unnecessary.
Unnecessary in what way?
I'd have thanked the student lawyer, really. I have a piece of evidence here that I'd completely forgotten about. This photographic print. This print is of a photograph that I thought would be prudent to take immediately after the shooting. As you can see, it clearly shows Miss Brett's handbag. Well, I never. You can see right through to what's inside. That's right. Apparently, meshwork bags like these are the height of fashion in London at the moment. So the contents are clearly visible. Exactly. So there was no need to search the lady's handbag. If there had been a gun inside, it would have been immediately obvious. As you can see, there's nothing to imply Miss Brett's guilt here. Is it in her hat? Thank you for helping to prove that, Naruhodo-san.
Oh.
Order. Order! Inspector Hosonaga, you will submit that print as evidence at once. Certainly, Your Excellency. I think you've had long enough to cross-examine the witness counsel. Okay, hold on. What's going on here? What's going on there? They got like a stain on them. The court has now been shown considerable evidence. As a photographic print is submitted into the court record appears to have no further significance, I am satisfied that there's no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling.
Indeed. And there's only one logical conclusion. That the pathetic rookie slumped over the bench before us is the only possible perpetrator of the crime.
No. Just when I thought I was beginning to turn things around. Worse situation than I was at the start. Kazuma? I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. Now that the cross-examination of the witness is over, there's no way to force the trial to continue. What? You you mean this is it?
I must say you put up quite a fight for a rookie student. But the weaker meet while the strong eat. You are wasting your time. There's no way to defeat true justice. A fact you can chew on to your heart's content from the inside of your cell.
This can't be happening. I'm really going to be found guilty of a crime that I didn't commit? Sorry, I'm now thinking about Fox. What was the name of that game? It was the parody for Metal Gear. His dream of going to study in Great Britain will slip through his fingers. Kazuma. What? Is there really no chance now of turning this trial around? You heard the judge. Nothing about that last photograph the detective produced that we can contest. Which means there's no basis on which we can argue for the trial to continue. Very well, I will now proceed immediately to the ruling. It seems we've been reported to the British government on time after all. That smug little... Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Having considered all the evidence placed before me, I hereby find you... Wait, Your Excellency. Ryunosuke. I don't think you can rule on this case yet.
This amateurishness is getting tedious. When His Excellency deems that the trial is over, he gives his ruling. That's the most basic protocol of the courtroom.
Your Excellency, just a moment ago you said this. As the photographic print just submitted appears to have no further significance, there's no longer any room for doubt in this matter. I must make my ruling. Now that means that if there was a problem with the evidence, some significant detail, I mean, then ruling on the case at this time will be out of the question.
This is blatant straw clutching. Look at this photographic print. All it shows is the handbag the gentlewoman was carrying on the day in question. There can be no problem with this evidence.
You'd better know what you're doing, Ryunosuke. I understand your objection, counsel. Certainly the new evidence submitted by the detective has not undergone the court scrutiny. However, I fail to see how we can glean any new information from this handbag.
Ha! My thoughts exactly. Really, the prosecution is becoming tired of this rookie's desperate wheezes.
Yes, I am desperate, but this isn't a wheeze. There's something about this photograph which just doesn't seem right. I feel like I put my finger on it. Very well. I'll grant the defense one final opportunity to save their game.
What?
But be warned that if I am unsatisfied with your response here, the trial will be over with immediate effect. I will shove this hammer so hard up your... Do I make myself clear? Yes, Your Excellency. So, take another look at the photographic print Inspector Hosonaga submitted before. You will identify for the court where in this print we see the significant detail to which you have alluded. Right here, dude. Although it's not flashing as much as I thought it would. I guess, you know, they're not going to flash it like crazy.
Yes.
Look at this here. There's a very unusual mark on the victim's wrist. That is true. Looks almost like a burn of some description.
Objection!
Yeah, me. I was pondering what new piffle you would come out with. A burn, you say, on the victim's wrist. Clearly that has nothing whatsoever to do with the magnificent lady's handbag. It's a powder burn from a gun. Yes, that is a burn mark, you're right. Go on, Inspector. The police coroner also noticed it when he was performing the post-mortem medical examination. It was deemed unrelated to the cause of death, so he didn't note it in his report. What did I tell you? In any case, we have no idea when the victim suffered this burn, do we? And no possible way of knowing either. It's on his right hand. The more I look at it, the more I find myself intrigued by the curious shape of this mark. However, as Prosecutor Auchi points it, unless a firm connection to this case can be shown. Can we see anything interesting about it? Ah, it matches this. Wait, it matches that? Huh? What? Wait. So wait, he was on this side. Why was he eating steak? All right. Excuse me, Your Excellency. It would seem Miss Brett has a lunch appointment with the Dean and other university staff. She would like to know if she may be excused from the stand now. Oh, of course, dear lady. We shan't hold you up any longer. Quite sure His Excellency is about to give his final ruling anyway. What you're thinking on this, Renosuke? Do you believe this burn does have something to do with this case? To be honest, I'm not really sure. But if I don't keep pushing, it's all over. So I was thinking I should keep digging and digging in the hope that I might uncover something useful. Yes, you're right. I am. If we can just link that burn to the case, if we can do that, we might be able to prise this shutting door back open again. Wait, is that how you spell pry? With an S? Like that? Just give up, counsel. You can't possibly hope to do that. Indeed. I'm afraid that without evidence, I can't allow you to pursue as little more than conjecture. But if we had evidence... Evidence that irrefutably linked the burn on the victim's wrist to the case, then you would allow it? I would, yes. To tell the truth, I hadn't noticed that burn. But as soon as you pointed it out, what I did notice was the color draining from Miss Brett's face. Really? I had to find some link between the burn and the case. This is a moment of truth. Time to find some evidence that proves what the burn really means. So then, the defense will now present its evidence to the court. The evidence that demonstrates an inextricable connection between the victim's burn and this trial. What's this?
Yes!
What's this, counsel? Yet another print. Yes, Your Excellency. I believe photographic prints are an amazing invention. When we humans look at a scene, we miss things. But in a photograph, things we may have overlooked at the time are recorded forevermore. Do hurry up, Rookie. What are you trying to say? To inconvenience this poor lady any further really would be quite inexcusable. Actually, we may need you to stay with us a little longer, if you don't mind, Miss Brett. You see, it's very clearly visible in this photograph. How did the victim come to have that unusually shaped burn on his wrist? The reason is recorded here forevermore. What? How?
Objection!
You can't fool me with your little bluffs, boy. If that's your game, then let's see how it plays out. Show the court exactly what you mean. Right here.
Yes!
The beef steak. Actually, the point is the middle plate the steak was served on. The plate. Oh! Your Excellency, are you alright? As you can see, there's an emblem on the plate. A fire emblem. I would guess it's some sort of trademark of Le Carnival. This emblem on the plate. And the victim's burn are exactly the same shape. Renosuke, you genius! You're spot on. Which means the victim must have suffered this burn while he was present at the restaurant.
Objection!
But even if that is the case, we can't know if it happened on the day in question or not. It could have been the day before, or the day before that. Most likely happened at some other, unrelated time.
Well,
Objection!
sadly, Prosecutor Alchi, the chances of that are extremely slim. Thanks.
Why?
The outline of the burn is clearly discernible. Such a serious injury would have caused quite a commotion in the restaurant. Wouldn't you agree, Inspector Hosonaga? I can't imagine having missed such a terrible disaster, certainly.
But,
I would say, looking at the picture of the wound, that it wasn't suffered very long ago. And although it's not a particularly large burn, it's extremely well defined, as the defense just pointed out. This was no mild burn, that's for sure.
Can you be more specific, Inspector?
Well, let's see. If the plate was at around 90 degrees centigrade, a burn like that would have taken around 3 seconds. Inconceivable that the victim would have let out a scream of pain then. I've been investigating at the restaurant for several weeks already, but I've not heard anyone scream at all. As the head waiter of Le Carnival, I can testify to that without hesitation. Oh, it's the anesthesia, right?
But you're a detective, not a waiter.
Yes!
There you have it. Something isn't right here. As the detective said, anyone who burnt themselves on a piping hot plate for those 3 whole seconds would scream in pain.
There's no question of that. And yet, Inspector Hosonaga never heard the professor scream. Not on that day or any before it.
That's right. The strange thing is, on the day he was shot, I didn't hear him cry out either.
What are you suggesting?
Well, if the professor had carelessly laid his wrist in the plate for anything like 3 seconds that day,
That would be beyond careless, I think, Counsel.
then the rest of us in the restaurant, myself, the sergeant, and the old antiques dealer, all of us would without any question have heard him scream. Wouldn't you agree, Professor Alchi? Well, yes, I suppose.
So the question is, why didn't a single person hear Dr. Wilson scream? I must not believe it. Honestly, do you think... Omae wa mo shinderu?
Not really, it was just the anesthesia.
Never to be true. Never jumped to arrive at a conclusion like this, but... I'm starting to think that maybe... we've been led into a terrible trap. And there's only one explanation I can think of to make sense of this apparent impossibility. On the day in question, when he suffered the burn to his wrist, Dr. Wilson was already deceased. I don't know if that makes sense. Oh man, this is great. You can actually save. Hell yeah. Save right here. I feel like it's probably actually this because of the dentist. But this is like the first thought that comes to mind. No man could remain silent while his wrist was burning on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds. That's clearly impossible. Apart from in one particular situation. Counsel, are you suggesting... Yes, it's only possible if the man was already dead.
Already?
Dead? Knowing what we would know now, it's the only possible explanation. When the beefsteak was brought to Dr. Wilson's table that day, the professor was already dead.
That's madness!
Order, 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 please. Counsel, explain this absurd notion at once. The victim was killed by a gunshot.
That's right. That's absolutely right, Your Excellency. This It's just another ridiculous ploy by the rookie student, but clearly he has no grasp of the facts.
No, Prosecutor Archie. It's you who has no grasp of the facts.
I beg your pardon.
As soon as it became apparent that the victim had suffered the burn while at the restaurant, this whole case was turned upside down. Or have you not grasped that yet? Your Excellency, the court must hear from this witness again. If it's true as we now believe that the victim was already dead before the gunshot was heard, highly likely that Miss Brett knows something about it. Incredible. I certainly didn't anticipate this twist of events. I'm sorry to say, Miss Brett, that you will now have to forget your luncheon engagement.
But Your Excellency...
The justice system in our country may be in its infancy, but rest assured all reasonable doubt must be dispelled before I am prepared to pass judgment. Thank you, Your Excellency. Oh no, she's smiling at us. Yes, of course. I mean, I'd be delighted to help. Especially if it helps relations between my country and yours.
Miss Brett, Nihongo dekimasu ka?
Of course I do. I am studying your country after all. But then, why have you been speaking through an interpreter until now?
My mother tongue, the Queen's English, is the most refined and elegant language in the world.
As a gentlewoman, I try to avoid speaking your vulgar tones as much as possible. But it seems the men in this land possess none of the chivalrous virtues of English gentlemen. So I can see that I shall have to lower myself to communicate with you all on your own level.
Oh. Well, you are the epitome of a true English gentlewoman. We are truly honored by this lavish consideration you so graciously afford us.
I see. In that case, Miss Brett, I will now ask you to testify your own words about the events leading up to the death of the victim, Dr. Wilson. So we're finally going to hear our own words on the matter. Things are getting interesting, Renosuke. The victim's death.
Unfortunately, I had no idea when the poor man burnt his wrist like that.
When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I were raised... Sorry, words hard. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. As far as I have heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible cause of death besides the gunshot. If there's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please do show me. But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyway. Wow, confident, isn't she? That most captivating and beautiful testimony will go down in the Supreme Court's history. Thank you. Easy does it. I hope that is the last time I have to sully my lips with the coarse tones of your unbecoming tongue. Oh, forgive me. I do hope I haven't insulted anyone. Man, this lady feels about Japanese as I feel about French. Not at all, not at all. It's a delight merely to hear you speak, dear lady. It seems very clear from your testimony that this boorish talk of the victim's burn is utterly irrelevant. I will be speaking to your country's Minister of Justice about what has happened here today.
The Minister of Justice?
May that irritating little bully of a student be given the harshest punishment possible. Amen.
Thanks?
Was that a prayer then? Well, you have to forgive the irritation, Miss Brett, and put up with a cross-examination now. I expect you've noticed that this little bully of a student, as you put it, doesn't miss much. I'm sure I don't need to remind you, counsel, that this will be your final cross-examination of this trial. If you fail to demonstrate any problems with this witness's testimony, I will be ruling on the case immediately. Is that clear? Wow, lip jiggle physics. Yes, Your Honor. Excellency. Then you may proceed with the cross-examination. Was she not with him the entire time?
Yes.
But his hand was on the steering wheel plate for at least 3 whole seconds. You can't not have noticed. Do you think so? Let me ask you something. Sorry. Ever since I arrived at this courtroom, and even still now, the fly on those unsightly black trousers of yours has been wide open. You can't not have noticed, can you? Hmm? What? Ah! What fun. You hadn't realized. The dear lady is absolutely right! As your friend, you've embarrassed me as well as yourself, Ryunosuke. Why didn't you tell me? Dr. Wilson was a true English gentleman. He chose honorable silence over a vulgar scream. Can your tiny brains imagine such a thing? Oh yes, I think my tiny brain can. Well, I can't. Anyway. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. As you testified before, you were drinking carbonated water, is that right? Dr. Wilson was only permitted to drink water at that time, if you remember. Which explains why you ordered that drink. Correct, waiter? Exactly as you say, sir. Although... Oh, although? Whether or not the professor actually drank any of the water when I delivered the steak to the table. I'm afraid I don't remember that. Damn you. Ah, I have enough English to understand that at least. For the benefits of others in the court, it means bless you. I think it means the exact opposite. Tonikaku. Is there any water in this thing? There's a little bit of water in there. And then like a teensy bit left there. So he did drink it.
Yes.
Yes, it's written here in the paperwork. Fatal hemorrhage from ballistic trauma. Yes. Luckily for all of us, a little burn on the wrist isn't going to kill us, as there are no other signs of trauma on the victim's body indicates what the cause of death. It can only have been the bullet from your gun that put an end to this innocent man's life. But it doesn't make sense. The burn must have happened straight away when the plate was first brought to the table by the waiter. Yes, that's true. If it had cooled even slightly, it wouldn't have been able to make a burn like that. And if the victim burnt his wrist on the hot plate as soon as brought it out from the kitchen, then he must have already been dead at that point. No, it's the anesthesia, man. Did I mess up this entire thing by not clicking that? And the fact is that the victim was killed by a gunshot to the chest. To show the court evidence to prove that this is a complete waste of time. I concur. Prosecutor Ouchie is right.
Yes.
Without leaving a trace? If someone is shot or strangled or stabbed or thrown from a height, however a person's life is taken, there are always telltale traces on the body. Quite right, dear lady. And as our police force has thoroughly examined the body of the deceased, there can be no doubt. Isn't that right, Inspector Hosanaga? As I've said, I always aim for a flawless investigation. The physical traces will all cause of death, that's true. But maybe there's some other way of killing someone that doesn't leave a mark. If, heaven forbid, you doubt me, young man, you're going to have to tell everyone how exactly you think the professor did lose his life. Otherwise, I'm afraid your argument falls rather flat, doesn't it? Oh, no, perish the thought! Calling such a sweet young lady's innocence into question. On my honor, I, Taketsuchi Hachi, will cut down any who dare cast such aspersions. Maybe killing someone that leaves no trace. We need some evidence to back us up here. Yes, evidence.
Yes!
Inferior? What do you mean by that? In the lands of the Great British Empire, the police store everything found out of a crime scene for a later examination. But in this country, you investigate once and that's the end of it. Isn't that so? Quite right. La Carnival is open for business as usual today, just days after the incident. Exactly. Which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction, vital evidence may be lost. It seems like occurred here naive detectives try to preserve the crime scene. I'm trying to be as tactful about this as I can, you understand. Ah, killer blow. The lady is as formidable as she is beautiful. Amazing. He's actually admitting our police may be flawed. Perhaps Prosecutor Ouchie is finally starting to see sense. I very much doubt that. Still, there's something about what Miss Brett just said. There was a moment before, but something didn't seem quite right. What do you think, Ryunosuke? I think it's going terribly. No matter how much I press her, I'm not turning up any new information. Yes, I suspected. She's a tough witness. We need to find a way to break her testimony, or the cross-examination will be over. But, I mean, I have to find a way. There should be some clue somewhere to help us find a chick in her armor. Kazuma. What, Ryunosuke? There is one thing I noticed. Something has been bothering me. Bothering you? You mean about Miss Brett? Actually, no. About the person standing next to her. Inspector Hosonaga. The detective. Yes, he seems to react a little strangely to Miss Brett's last statement. I wonder if it might be significant. If I might present an opening, maybe. Alright, have an idea. Try pressing on that last statement one more time. If you think so, but this time, instead of targeting the woman herself, let's see what we can get out of the detective. Alright then. What Cosmo's thinking. I'll find out soon enough, I suppose.
Yes!
Wait.
Okay, how do I do this? There it is again. Detective's reaction is just the same as before. Why? Up until now, the detective has been in the stand with Miss Brett as interpreter. But things are very different now. For this testimony, the detective is just listening to what the Englishwoman has to say. It could be a golden opportunity. What do you mean? When people are actually testifying, they're usually very careful not to let anything slip. However, when they're listening to someone else speak, you'll find they often let their guard down. You're right. Look at him. He's lost in his own thoughts. It's time to pursue the man in his train of thought. Sorry? Pursue? I'll explain how to do it now, Ryunosuke. It's all to do with the witness marker. What marker? At the moment, we're focusing on Miss Brett, who's the person actually making the current statement. By moving the marker left and right with the directional pad, you can turn your attention to the other people in the stand. While you're looking at the other witnesses, you'll be able to pursue them with A. If you can catch the person at just the right time, you might uncover some new information to pursue. If you ever notice a strange atmosphere amongst the people in the stand, take a good look around. Alright then, let me do that. God, my throat.
Wait.
I'm pressing it.
Excuse me.
Yeah. What's the meaning of this? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to shock you. He really was lost in his own thoughts. Deeply. It looked like you were thinking something just now, Inspector. Perhaps having heard what the lady next to you had to say. If there is something you'd like to say, please, share it with the court. What is the meaning of this? It's a delightful Englishwoman who's testifying at the moment. If you can't find fault with her testimony, then the cross-examination should be over immediately. Oh, is that how it works? Absolutely not. The detective is in the stand, which makes him a valid witness. Yes, not to mention the fact that he's intimately involved in the case. Inspector Hosanaga. Yes. Do you have something to add in relation to the statement just made by Miss Brett? Oh, yes, if you don't mind, I would like to speak. The lady is right. Our country's police practices are not as modern as those used in Great Britain. Which is why I, Satoru Hosanaga, always try to make every investigation I'm involved in flawless. What do you really mean by that? I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence lacking on my watch. I'm not afraid to take everything I can from the scene of the crime. It's preserving evidence, you see. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief. I'm not ashamed of what I've done. A crime scene thief? Well, looks like the lady's remark touched the nerve there. Take this, for example. Is that? This is the bottle of carbonated water that I took to the victim's table on the day in question. And yes, it's lost all its fizz, having been opened 3 days ago. But it was carbonated water. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, there's some left in the bottle. I can see it. One day our police force will be one of the best in the world. The time is coming, I guarantee it. Can't say I condone the witness's actions, but I do understand the sentiment. The court will accept the glass bottle of water as evidence. Miss Brett. Can you confirm this is indeed the bottle from which you drank on the day of the victim's death? Yes, it was that bottle. What was that about? She seemed to avert her eyes when she answered the question. Very well, counsel. You may resume the cross-examination. And the inspector will kindly control his fervor. Alright, let's check out this thing. What is this? It was written in a foreign language. Do you know what it says, Cosmo? It's French. Must be very expensive water. Yeah, so what does it say? So I was asking. Go to France and ask. Nothing at all. Oh, the cork's gone. That's not terribly surprising, though. I don't know, she kill him with a cork bottle?
Yes.
Without leaving a trace. Okay. I'm thinking maybe we have to like pursue her on something when she does something. So the postmortem report showed no other possibilities cause of death besides the gunshot. Loss of blood. No exit wound.
Yes.
Alright, I'm just looking for tells. Oh.
Excuse me.
What do you make of that, Inspector Hosonaga? Talking about that last statement. What I mean is, does nothing strike you as unusual about it? This is hopeless. I don't think you need to push it, Rinosuke. Give him some time. I'll leave it for now. But she said, damn you. New evidence. Excellent work, Inosuke. Good idea, Cosmo. Alright, all things you notice in the reactor trying to do what Lydia said. To be honest, you keep surprising me at every turn. Sorry? Oh, never mind. We know that Dr. Wilson was killed around the time the steak was brought to his table. By some means, it left no physical trace on his body. If we could just demonstrate how it was done. I do have one idea about that. Maybe I should just present the evidence and see what happens. Okay. Okay, I mean, I can think of two things to do here. One is the level of water in the glass. And the other is to just present the bottle and be like, well, you know, you could poison this shit.
Yes.
What is this? The bottle of water. Actually, there's one method of killing a man without leaving a trace that comes to mind. Anthrax. I'm referring to poison. Poison? On the day of his death, we know that Dr. Wilson drank from this bottle of carbonated water. Could it be there was poison inside? Could it be that the professor actually died after taking a sip from his glass? And on that day, who was sitting at the same table as the professor and able to slip the poison into his drink? Only one person who could have possibly have done it. Giselle Brett, it was you.
Objection!
This is outrageous. To suggest such a thing without a scrap of evidence. You little rookie imbecile. Have you even considered the delicate situation our country finds itself in now? Have you forgotten that we only just signed in the accord of friendship with the British Empire? Have you even the vaguest inkling that your rash accusations could jeopardize the entire treaty? This is not a political arena. This is a trial to determine one individual's guilt with respect to one crime. What? The fact that this woman is British makes no difference. We are here to determine the truth. If I may, I will silence you forever for this disgraceful attack on the lovely gun. It is you who should be silent. Oh, of course. Dear lady. Where did that come from? She just snapped. I'm afraid I may have spoken unfairly before. I offer my most humble apologies. I'm sorry, my lady. To what are you referring? I described your police force as inferior. But no matter how inferior they may be, you still investigate this particular point thoroughly, I believe. The bottle, I mean, Inspector, and whether it contained poison or not. Of course. You did? Have you forgotten what my guiding principle is already? I do flawless stuff. I don't believe it. Naturally, we tested the inside of the bottle and its contents. And what did you find, Inspector? I ordered tests for every toxin that's available in this country at the present time. Did you order all the ones for the ones in France as well? Find no trace of poison of any description in the bottle of carbonated water, Your Excellency. What? Are you sure? The tests were meticulously carried out by the chief coroner himself. No. No. I'm very grateful to all you Japanese. You successfully established my complete innocence to this horrid affair. Thank you. But of course, dear lady, the pleasure was all ours. I was so sure. This can't be right. Everything falls into place if he was poisoned. Thank you, counsel. I think that cross-examination has clarified everything. As the prosecution had asserted, a shot to the chest from this gun is the only conceivable cause of death. Furthermore, the accused, who by his own admission was holding this weapon, is the only possible culprit. I'm done for. The court wishes to apologize for the great inconvenience this has caused you, Miss Brett. Oh no, I'm just glad the matter is resolved. Before proceeding, I must ask the counsel for the defense. Do you have any further new evidence to present the court at this point? Kazuma? Sorry, Ryunosuke. I have nothing more. Well, if you'll excuse me now, I really must be leaving.
Hold it!
Hmm? Oh shit. Please wait. Isn't that... What is the meaning of this? Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikotoba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense. Mikotoba. In my darkest hours with nowhere left to go, she appeared like a bolt of lightning. And in her hand, she carried a small package wrapped in a furoshiki cloth. This music. God, it's a three-parter? Okay, I can't. I cannot do the rest of this tonight. I'm sorry. I assumed because this was the first mission, or first case, rather, that it would be it would be one part, and then at most two when it gave you that second part. But, no. My throat is unhappy. It's 11:35. We've been live for 4 hours, and I have work tomorrow. So... Alright, tell you what though, real quick. What I'll do. Okay. Oh, okay, it's cool. Thanks, Steam. I was gonna go see if I could do what I did before. With, with the other game, where like there was a walkthrough for the other game that didn't actually like show you spoilers, it just like gave you the section headings and such, and I could use that to try to judge how long it is, but never mind. I'm done. Yeah, that's fine. We'll pick it up after the to be continued. All right. Well, thanks for enjoying the Great Ace Attorney with me, everyone. I'm sure we'll get to see more of it later on in the future. But for now, I'm going to stop and listen to my computer like fan whine like crazy overnight, because it has to cut out 45 minutes or so from a 4-hour VOD. Anyway, yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday. I have Japanese class, so I won't be live until 8:30-ish. Probably like a few minutes after that, because my sensei tends to talk a little bit. But after that, be back with more Yakuza. I wish my glasses didn't make it so this model would like blink with only one eye a lot of the time, but it is what it is. You know, I wonder if there's a way to like work around that. I don't know. But yeah. Hope you enjoyed the I guess the debut stream of my little VTuber that I made over the weekend of Za-chan. So you'll probably see her again. I think it's fun. So who knows if I'll get better with Live 2D and like maybe rig it up better or something like that. I don't know. VTube Studio also has an app, I believe, for phones, and my phone's camera is a lot better than my webcam, so maybe if I use that, I'll be able to get slightly better tracking, and my eye won't do what it's doing right now. But yeah, more Ace Attorney probably on Thursday, assuming that I stream after trivia. So catch you all later, and thanks for coming by. I appreciate it. And bye for now.
Cheese to meet you.
Oh, it's my cheddar.
You too. Have a good day.
There was something off about the rats. Their smile and general demeanor, the constant puns. There was no way they were actually talking. Something was seriously a Swiss. I was running out of time.